What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Snap Decisions. I am your evening Snap DJ. I am your host with the most, and I have with me today two of my favorite people in Marvel Snap. You know them. They are the Kid Snap and No Big Deal. Kid Snap down bottom, No Big Deal to the right. What's going on, guys? Super glad to have you here. And Caveman Joe's got some stuff going on here. I had an intro. Look at all this technology I'm actually messing around with here. But thanks for coming on, guys. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having us, Joe, man. Always a pleasure. Love talking Snap with you. Love all your shows, man. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited, dude. I'm excited. That intro was really cool, man. Like, we're just waiting there. I'm like, I was getting kind of pumped, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. Yeah, once I can add some, that's like a generic one that they use on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can actually go in there. You can add your own video clips and everything to it. So it's kind of cool. So yeah, I'm just glad to have something, right? Instead of just starting and being like, okay, I'm gonna hit record now. What's going on? No Big Deal. How are you, man?
Hey man, I feel good. I'm vibing from that intro as well. You know, I was bobbing my head the whole time, getting it going. I just did some. I think it was Deadpool. They have the quote of Marvel Snap. I was just eating a shawarma, so
There
I
you
just
go.
had a nice
Nice.
beef shawarma,
Nice.
and I feel ready. You know, shout out to Ryan Reynolds, and we're ready to rock and roll on this Snap Decision pod.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a fun night tonight, guys. We're going to go over a lot of things. We're going to talk a little bit about Red Guardian. We're going to talk a little about the meta. We're going to talk about that controversial emote discussion that everybody's talking about the last couple of weeks. Also, we're going to go over all of the cards that have been data mined that were never released. So I have an unreleased list of data mine cards that we have yet to have seen. Some of them are absolute memes and probably will never get made. Some of them were April Fool's jokes, and some of them have just been in there forever and may come out eventually one day. There are going to be a few, though, in there that are kind of cool because I realized that the villain from Deadpool 3 is actually one of the cards that was in the data mine. So very cool. I had no idea who it was. You could see her in the trailer from behind with the bald head and the jacket and stuff like that. I had no clue who she was. And I'm like, wow, all right. So obviously we're getting a Deadpool season, probably in July, I would imagine, when the movie comes out. So that's going to be awesome. So we're going to go over all that. And of course, we're going to start off today and I wanted to just talk about the Snap Judgments League because we've been in these. You guys played in them. They are coming out with this one. This is the Snap Grand Prix. Obviously, it's free to enter. There are prizes, so $300 prize as well. And you guys getting in on this one? I know it's coming up soon, actually.
I would love to get in it. I'm going to be in Mexico, though, so I don't think
okay.
be, I'm going to be drunk on the beach with margaritas, so won't be playing Snap.
That's probably better. I would probably...
They'll be in Cabo, so I don't know.
Nice.
I would have loved to do it. I mean, it's free. I promoted. I hope they have a good turnout. I mean, like, to win $300 for a free tourney. And Gunny T's been on fire setting that all up.
Gosh.
You know, the one he ran a Friday, like a week ago,
Saturday,
a week ago. Saturday, so smooth. It was like 16 people Swiss with the top 4. Like the one that Tucker and Gnome were in the finals. They streamed it. I think it was like 2.5 hours. The whole thing, it was so quick. Awesome. It was like just like well-oiled machine, man. So this looks great. No big deal. Are you getting in on this?
I think I'm also out of town that weekend, but like London, Ontario, not Mexico. But
not London, England.
Yeah, so I'm not like, I think I'm like seeing some in-laws that weekend, but yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, but I mean, next Snap Judge League, I'm in 100%, of course.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, any little weekend tournament that they do like this, I try to get in on if I can. I was in on the one a couple weeks ago with Gunny and Tucker. I got top 4 in that one, so we take those. But
nice, there you are.
Gnome and Tucker took me out, but we were rally. So
hey, you lost to the winner.
What?
You lost to the winner, and you beat him once before. So
yeah, true. I did beat him in the Swiss as well. So
that
was fun. And he's top 30 now, I think too. So hey, we take those.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice. You beat a guy that's that's saying something when you beat somebody that's up that high. That's awesome.
He got his revenge though. He got his revenge.
Yeah, I mean they do a good job with this, and of course, like No Big Deal was talking about, the Snap Judgments League was just a whole lot of fun, and they're going to be doing another one of those. Get in on it. That's only $1 to join their Patreon to get to play. You get to meet some really really cool people along the way and have fun doing it. So this is the kind of thing a lot of people were looking for and asking for. This one here, they're trying to make the one of the biggest tournaments to ever be out there. So get in on it. It's a lot of fun, and it is of course from Snap Judgments. Check out his videos every single day. They'll talk about it, and you can see right here. It's the 27th to 28th. It's free to enter. Over $300 in prizes. Swiss. It's 1 day single elimination. Cut day 2, and it's hosted by Gun ET, Pulse Glazer, of course, Glazer, Tucker, Zal Snap, and Pursuit Gaming. So they're going to be the ones that are going to host them, doing the play-by-play, I'm guessing, as well on it. And there you go. All information can be found in the Snap Judgments League Discord. So make sure you go and join the Discord. It's a real cool place to be if you want to get in on some of these things. So, all right. First thing I want to talk to you guys about is a controversial thing that has been going around Marvel Snap, and I want to start here.
Thumbs up.
Let's talk about emotes, because man, Marvel Snap put out a cosmetic shop, and ever since then, people have been literally going crazy over these things. Some people love them, some people hate them, like absolutely just can't stand the fact that they're trying to charge $30 for an emote, and all this other stuff. I want to get your guys' opinion on it, because I did talk to Tucker a couple days ago on my show, and both of us come to the conclusion, seeming to think that, and I don't know where people get it from, but every game throughout the years that I've been playing, video game wise, all have stuff for cosmetics. They all have monetary things you could buy. There's never a need to have to buy them, but I mean, even Fortnite had skins you can buy. RPGs have outfits you could buy. Spider-Man had outfits you could buy. They're all over the place. So I really don't understand why all of a sudden people are hating on Snap so much for do this. It's not like they're doing this. It's not like you need to have them. So yeah, I want to get your guys' take on this. So No Big Deal. Let me hear from you first. What do you think of the emotes, man?
Well, first of all, I like the emotes, and I just like emotes in general. I'm an emote spammer.
You are.
I have no shame about it. I like to have fun when I play games, and it is what it is. I don't want to just be mindlessly playing with no human interaction. I like the human interaction part of it. I mean, I grew up on the the RTS streets where we had chat, and people said some really nasty things back then. We have a training wheels version of that in Marvel Snap. So,
yes.
It's all you have is the prompts they give you and the emotes, and they even give some really nice emotes in the season pass as well. So you don't have to spend 2,200 gold. I love the Cyclops one, and I love the Red Guardian sweating. Yes, and I use these frequently in my games, and these are right in the season pass. So very cheap and accessible, and I haven't purchased anything from this cosmetic shop because I play mostly with limited resources in this game. I don't spend too much on the game, so I like to only spend on progression. Pretty much, I've bought 2 variants in total since 2022 when I started. So yeah, I'm not going to be buying any of these. I love the TVA one's great. You got on screen, but the Beast one is phenomenal too. He's just like monocle Beast.
Yeah, but you're talking about that guy.
It's like Leo DiCaprio meme, right? Like it's like
you are talking
the
about
Gatsby.
That one right there.
Yeah. Oh, that's Django. That's Django, not Gatsby.
That's it. Yeah. That's phenomenal.
That's
how they captured that, by the way. Like, that's literally down to the color of the suit that he's wearing and everything, like the gold and everything in the middle, the expression on Beast's face. That's phenomenal. I love this one. They're the only 2 I bought. This one I had to get. And then the missed minutes I just like, because so many times I'm playing the game and I get roped and people just sit there and wait. And I'm like, all right, they're going to do that. I'm going to spam that missed minutes one, because I just can't stand when people take their turns. But yeah, No Big Deal is a great example. So, not a person who's going to go out and buy these things and, feels as if you don't need to. I mean, so they're there, and I don't know. I guess maybe, and Kid, you can let me know how you feel about it. Obviously, I guess, I don't know whether people maybe just are upset that they can't get them. I don't know what it is. Or not can't get them, but are they upset that I don't know. Were they thinking that they were going to give them for free? Were they thinking that I don't know. I don't know where the mentality of the people are that are mad about it, but there is a good amount of people that are really, really upset about it. In fact, someone came out and said to me, "Oh, you're just promoting them that to make the game more expensive by buying these." I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah,
just
what do we
having
get out of
fun,
that?
dude. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not,
Yeah.
so kid, what do you think about it? I know you've got this one.
Well, yeah, I have that and the missed minutes and the Ultron. I mean, I'm just a filthy like whale here at this point. I don't give a shit. I just fucking buy these things because they're so fun. I love spamming them in game. They're actually like not like toxic either. They're kind of hilarious, and I've had a lot of great interactions with people where we just spam emotes at each other and just doing different things. So it's been like fun and like not like the Miss Marvel bullshit, but actually having fun. I mean, first of all, I don't know if people did the math or anything like that, but these are not $30 a piece. If you're counting gold pass gold, they're $6. Okay, that's number one. They're $6, but people don't like delayed gratification here. They don't like waiting and saving. They want everything now. Let's give it to me now. So if you were to buy gold right now and get a chunk of gold, I guess it would be $30. If you're to wait a month and a week, then get 2 gold passes. This is worth $6. Season pass gives 1,200 gold. The gold pass gives 1,800 gold. That's 3K gold in less than a month, and that's $15. Plus, you get a bunch of other stuff. So
Conquest usually good for 400 or 500 gold as well.
I mean, daily missions. I mean, you're getting gold a lot. I mean, 2,200. I mean, don't get me wrong, is very expensive. I'm not denying that fact. It's a lot of money to pay for nothing, for just like a sticker, basically. It's a lot of gold for you're not getting any progression, but in my opinion, that's kind of what you want in these games, is you want them to charge the shit out of cosmetics and, lower the price of progression. So, hopefully you would hope, who knows what's going to happen, but, you would hope that if this is a big hit and people are buying all this crap, and spending gold, that they would kind of, if they could say that they could make money on the cosmetics, they might, lower the cost of progression a little bit for the players. So that's what you want in a game. You want to spend on cosmetics, and you don't want on to have people to spend on progression. That's ideal scenario. So why people are mad about this, I have no idea. It's probably because they want them but don't want to spend 2,200 gold. But then, like, what's the optimal price? People will still probably complain if they were 1,000 gold. So I don't know. I don't think there's a price that they get to put them on unless it was like 100 gold that people would be like happy about. So it is what it is. It's a cosmetic at the end of the day. You're getting nothing out of it other than some giggles, and probably get muted anyway. So I was chuckling to myself. I was like, whatever, I don't give a shit. It's hilarious.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people aren't even going to see them anyway, because if you're somebody who mutes everybody that does it, then it's not going to matter. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. It's just an extra thing to enjoy a game with. And not everybody's going to care about it, and everybody's going to do it. And it's just, I don't know. I think it's fine. Even if people were talking then about the albums, like they were giving them away in albums. Well, even in the albums, those albums cost, some of them are 1,200 a piece for every variant that you have to get to complete that album that you're going to get one from. So it's a lot. So that even getting them from those or wherever else you may get them from, I don't really think it's a big deal either. I just think it's for the people who use them, great. If you don't, great too. It's not going to matter one bit in the way that you play the game. So.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, I don't know where's the energy from these people about for like other cosmetic things, like freaking like Gucci and Hermes. They're charging $50,000 for a piece of leather. Like, come on, like that's crazy, right? Like people don't, cosmetic shit is expensive. I mean, it just these don't have to be expensive, but they're offering no progression, so it's like let them charge a lot and whatever,
I said, if you want to keep this game going, and everybody, we do this because we love playing the game. You want to keep the game going, they've got to fund it. It's just that simple. If they don't, and Marvel's a huge IP to pay for, I'm sure. So, they want to keep it going. They want to keep the license. This is the way that they're going to do it. Not everybody's going to get it, but they have to make money somehow. And if everybody would just go and nobody did anything but buy a season pass, probably not going to be around for very long. So, and mobile games come and go. So you want it to be in the best shape it's going to be. So I didn't really get it either, but
I wonder, if you don't mind, I'll try to offer a little bit of devil's advocate, I guess.
Yeah.
Again, cool. I don't feel I don't care about these cosmetics at all. And I think it's great that they're in the game, and I actually like it when people emote me because it's just a fun back and forth. And
Yeah,
by
it
the
is.
way, a nice alternative to miss minutes, just side note, is hello exclamation mark. So if you don't want to pay to win on the 2200 gold, if somebody's roping, I spam hello, hello.
Hello.
Fucking wake up, buddy.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's true. It's like,
That's
what
the
are you
one I use
doing?
personally.
Yeah.
But maybe it's people's overall disdain for the overall monetization strategy of Marvel Snap, and it's not because you can't really argue that like we can actually be mad that an emote costs 2200 gold because you guys have outlined all the reasons why it's ridiculous to anyone would even be mad at that. Obviously, we want whales to be able to whale out, and you should give them rare stuff that other people don't have because that's enticing to spend money on, right? If you make these cheap, like everyone's just going to have them, the whales aren't really going to be that incentivized to spend the money on the game, right? So I think it's good that they're doing it, but maybe people are not happy with the overall monetization. And Second Dinner does play these little mind games sometimes where they say, oh, like we're going to do something about the monetization, like it's not in its final form. Like, remember, like we used to get like 400 tokens per cache, and now the freaking collector's caches are like useless now. So it's like, I think it's maybe this compounding feeling of like despair of like the monetization like keeps getting worse over time. And it's just like, okay, what's their solution? And like now we don't even have Series 4 cards there's 5 cards a month, right? Instead of 4. So there's more cards to buy. People are running out of resources, probably faster now. And they're probably actually starting to feel it now. Like maybe in January when they started this, they probably didn't feel it because we just kind of used what we had saved up. But maybe people are actually running out of resources now. Freaking US Agents 5K, Red Guardians 5K. Like, we can't pick up these cards if we're trying to play, quote unquote free to play. I'll call free to play. You buy the season pass because you're just crazy if you don't and you play this game. But people maybe have this overall feeling of, I don't know, like they keep saying they're going to fix the monetization. They keep saying like, oh, they have some cool ideas to make the monetization better. They don't do series drops anymore. Like series drops, every 6 months. And now, hey, here's a token shop. Guys, we did something great. Here's a new feature in the game, 2200 gold emotes. Like, enjoy, guys. And so maybe people are like, man, fuck this shit. Like, and they're just raging online or, it's like, so, maybe that's what it is. Cause if I had to speculate, that's not me. I'm happy with this stuff, but, and I don't think the overall monetization is bad of the game, but I do think they definitely should fix Series 3. I think Series 3 people should be able to pick at least their first 50 cards, probably their first 75. They should be able to choose each one. Maybe 1,000 tokens at a time, just so they don't get into the abyss in Series 3. And I think that would be really good for the newer players and casual players. And other than that, I think the monetization's fine. But maybe that's what it is, if I had to guess.
Yeah, you might be right. It just might be the overload of everything just coming to pass. I mean, they are doing some good things, but yeah, you're right. It could be just from everything. It's just getting a little bit overwhelming. We got that bonus boosters thing, which I think that's actually kind of cool. And they're giving you free boosters for cards and stuff now. So they changed that around for the better. But yeah, no, you make a good point. And whenever I have a guest on, I usually like to kind of talk about the economy of the game a little bit because I know, like you were saying, there are a lot of people who aren't that thrilled with it. But I look at it too from a standpoint that in almost every game I've ever played, and I wish people that played Snap sometimes would have been around to play this lousy ass game called Marvel Battle Lines that I wailed out on when it came out because it was terrible and you literally had to pay to win. You wanted to get a good Thanos card, man, you're shelling out tons of money to buy packs because they had cards that would come in packs, and only certain packs you can get the Thanos from. And it was like, if you tried a card and you'd be opening it, you get two, I think it was 3 cards in a pack, and you're paying like $25. I think it was a pack or something like that. They get 3 cards or maybe a little more, and then you're never getting the card anyway. So you're buying them and you're buying them, until you finally get it. So that was a mess. But this has been going on, and I say this to people play Candy Crush. and you're paying 99 cents to get it to go to an extra level.
Mhm.
So every single game that you come across, regardless of, like I said, if it's a video game on a PlayStation or an Xbox, or if it's a mobile game, or if you're playing an MMORPG like Warcraft or something, cosmetics are everywhere. Warcraft started with them. Get this cool looking mount, or get this. They don't do anything for you in game, and you don't have to have them, but they're there. They give that to the option. Like you were saying, the whales are the people that they want to get, because those people are going to buy all that stuff up. But you made a good point, and I'm going to ask the kid about this too. And I ask everybody. I asked Tucker about this too as well. So I want to get your guys' opinion. But kid, if you could change some of the economy in the game, how would you go about doing it? I like No Big Deal suggestion about Series 3, because a lot of people have said Series 3 needs to change.
Mhm.
And maybe like he's just being able to pick your cards, maybe that's an option. I know I think when Lauren was on my show, she had said make it quicker that they can get the cards, not one every 4, make it one every 2, so you can get the series quicker. But what would you do? Like if you're working at second dinner right now, I'm going to put you in the chair for second dinner, kid. What would you do to make the economy a little bit better?
Hold on, kid. Let me throw one sentence, kid, if you don't mind, real quick.
Go.
To the just because to accentuate the let them pick, I want to come up with a solution that also doesn't lose second dinner money as well. So the 1 and 2, you just straight up take money out of the second dinner's pockets by doing that. You're saying let's give people free shit, basically. And I don't think that's a solution that's reasonable. But I think there's tons of ways you can improve the game where they make more money and we're happy. Like there's a lot of ways you can do that. And I think that's one way to let people pick, but have it the same 1 in every 4, but they actually pick. So then you get your Venom, you get your Carnage, whatever. You can make a destroy deck and you get Death, right? And now you have a destroy deck. And in way less time than frick, I got to wait until 100 packs before I pull Death, and I'm just like pissed off. So anyway, go ahead, kid. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe you get like, because that's what I was gonna say. I mean, Series 3 is the main issue, I think, with the game, really, because like the Spotlight system makes it way better than the last system. I mean, it just mathematically it just is better. You can get cards a lot easier, especially if you're smart with it. I mean, if you YOLO roll every week, then no, you're gonna be miserable. But I think like kind of like what No Big Deal was saying, like if you give people a little bit of agency, it's so much better. It would make Series 3 so much better for people, because a lot of people quit this game during Series 3 because it's just it's a grind, and it just becomes a worse grind as the game progresses and more cards get into the card pool. So maybe maybe there's like a Series 3 shop, and then every like 4 or whatever, you get a Series 3 token that you can use to purchase a card, and you can choose whatever card you want. That way you can make your own decks. I think that's something that needs to be done. Or if it's every 4, make it every 3, like make it a little bit like quicker, like you're saying, No Big Deal. Maybe like they lose a little bit of money, but like whatever, man, there's more cards now than there was a year ago. So it's like it takes like 6 months, I think, to complete Series 3. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Adam Warlock's in Series 3, like you don't even need to make it quicker. Like I don't want to say, oh, well, people get mad at me. I'm not suggesting giving them free shit. I'm saying they got to go to their shareholders and say, and like actually put this through, and like it actually has to go through, and they're gonna laugh you out of the room if you say let's just make it like cost half as much when all these people. Like us, on this podcast had to get it every 4, right? And then so now we're gonna be mad, and we had to wait every 4. Now they get it once every 2. I mean, that's bullshit. And there's all it creates so many problems. So it's like less money, and you alienate half your player base. And so I think you keep it. I think it's fine the way it is, but like, man, imagine if you could pick. You don't pull freaking Adam Warlock, then you pull Rhino, then you pull, just these horseshit Series 3 cards that are horrendous, and like, imagine you could actually pick real ones. Like you would go through Series 3 like 4 times as fast, because you would just get like the quarter of the cards that you deem like these are good cards, and you'd feel pretty much like, okay, you could actually have some real decks now, you could play. So I don't know.
Even if you had like a random, like let's say, I don't know, call it a cache, right? Even if you have a cache, and when you open the caches, you get a choice of a certain amount. Let's say they'll show you on a screen when you pop the cache open, kind of similar to what they do like on the collection track now when you're getting the caches and you're getting the variants and stuff. But let's say you would get a choice in those caches of 3 cards. and they could still have them randomized if you want. But let's say that you get a choice. So instead of just getting one that pops up that, okay, like you were saying, here's Adam Warlock. All right, you're going to open up a cache and maybe one bad one is in there, but maybe there's one good destroy card and maybe there's another, you know what I mean? So rather than just have that, I don't know, maybe that's a solution, and just have them pick it. But I don't know, man.
Joe, I think that's a good suggestion, and I think that would improve things for sure. But I think it doesn't solve the main problem. That's more of a band-aid, I would say.
Yeah.
The main problem is that they keep putting new cards into the game. So they're like, yeah, you could pick between 3, but that's maybe fine now. But what happens when there's 250 Series 3 cards instead of 115-ish or whatever there is now, right?
Yeah.
So, and because they're going to keep dropping. Like, I know the series drops are less frequent, but the last one was big. Like 7 or 8 cards went to Series 3, right? So they're going to take whatever Series 4 cards that nobody's playing and have low win rates, and those are all going to be Series 3. I mean, we know that's going to happen, right? So, because they're putting out 5 Series 5 cards every month now, so they do have to drop, and the Series 3 pool is going to get bigger. So when there's 300 cards, you get to pick between 3. It's still probably going to suck, right? Like, you know, it's just people should just be able to. Every other card game I've played, yes, the monetization is worse, but you always get to pick. Like in Hearthstone, you dust your cards and then you get to get whatever. Like, I want Leroy, let me go get Leroy, you know. And then Yu-Gi-Oh, when I was playing, God, it's brutal monetization, but at least I could go for the exact card I want, and then I have my Sword Soul deck or whatever, and I could freaking play Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, it cost me like $150, but I got the full deck and I could compete with the best of people now. And if you don't do that, you just like the game's supposed to be fun. You know, you want to feel good while you're playing, and not everybody wants to play Destroy. Not everybody wants to play Discard. Not everybody wants to play Lockdown. Not everybody wants to play Move. And so just let people, like, it's a freaking card game. Let people get the cards they want. I don't know why they have to make it like this random collection bullshit. I think they need to like get this idea out of their head. Let's have that for after Series 3 and Series 1 and 2. But Series 3 is horrible right now. I think it's absolutely horrendous, and the main problem in Marvel Snap, honestly. I think it's the number one issue in the game.
Yeah. Kid, go ahead, man.
I would say it would be nice too if I've heard this from a couple of their content creators as well. It would be nice if they sold decks or like types of decks, you know, to people, like for either money or for gold. If you're not Series 3 complete, like have like a destroy package where there's like Deadpool, Venom, you know, cards that are Series 3 that you don't have. And you could spend like whatever X amount of gold or X amount of dollars, and you get the destroy deck or package. It won't have like null or anything, but like, you know, it'll be like a basic thing that you get some cards. You do that with discard, and do it with like basic archetypes. That would be cool to like advance people a little more, give them the option to advance and get like a nice little archetype that they can just play with and be somewhat competitive, you know. Also, I think it was on the snapshot though this past week, Cam and Brandon, I think they were talking about this, and I thought it was a good idea that like in spotlight caches, some people just don't give a shit about the variants, right? Like, I like some of them, but like, I think they had a cool idea where I don't know if Second Dinner would do this, but like you could choose between the variant or like another 1,000 gold, you know? And that way, like if you're just like a free to play player and you don't, you know, you get like this variant that you don't want, you roll it, at least you can be like, all right, maybe I can get some tokens to get a card that I don't have, you know, as like a kind of consolation prize.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Also, the second roll is so painful too. I only did it once.
God,
and I got lucky, but like you should get like the spotlight variant for the new card right away on the second roll. And like when you're going into 5, 6, 7, 8 caches, like you should not have to 25% chance the premium mystery variants if you have the cards. With spotlight keys. That's wild to me. That's why I never do that, because I'm like, man, that's crazy.
I would love that too. And I think the bundle stuff, or buy a Series 3, destroy it, like that, a booster pack or something, you call it like a booster pack, like that would be sick for sure. Like that would that's even better than you know, choosing them one at a time. You just buy a whole move deck or whatever, right? And that would be sick. And the 1,000 gold, I would love that. Again, I don't think they're ever going to do that. I think they want you to get the fucking useless variant that is worth nothing and does nothing for your progression in the game. And in the future, you're going to have to spend money to get tokens or whatever to get the new cards. And so there's just no way. I don't ever see them doing that personally.
I don't think so. But to be fair, like life is pretty good after Series 3 now. It's much better than it was before.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Spotlight system.
Yeah.
Like it's way better. So like
Oh, no doubt.
I don't like personally. I don't think they need to change anything after Series 3. I think it's fine. You know, personally, I think it's fine. But the Series 3 grind is crazy. They gotta
Yeah.
like that, especially if people are trying to be free to play or like only season pass. Like it struggle's real, man. They gotta spend a lot of money.
Too many cards. Too many freaking cards.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of time if you don't like imagine just 6 months and you don't have like Sarah. Like it's wild, man.
Yeah,
we don't get Venom.
Yeah.
To like
Dr.
like your
Doom,
100th card.
you know?
I went back at one point to try to start over because I loved the new game experience. And the game was one of the things I really liked about it. So I thought, you know what? Let me start a different account. And I did about maybe it was before Christmas. So it was probably like October-ish, in and around there. And I started over. And I got through Series 1 through Series 2, got into Series 3. And by that point on ladder, I couldn't get past probably 30 or so without running into, because I am trying to play with my half-made Wong deck, and I'm getting crushed by people who have a complete destroy deck or a complete and so
play October, probably Loki, probably get running some Loki.
I'm getting run over by, like, even if you play Proving Grounds, I'm going in to play Proving Grounds and I'm getting run over by the best decks in the game. I got beat by a Tribunal deck, and there I am playing with a destroy deck that has stupid Angel in the damn deck because I don't have anything else to put in it. And I'm like, oh my God. So I could see it. And I think there was another was it TLSG? I think TLSG did it.
Yeah.
Where he started completely. I love those videos, by the way. I miss him. But he was coming out and doing it and showing, how far he could get and stuff like that. And it's tough, man. And you got to feel for those players because, and then too, what about the players who leave the game for whatever reason and want to come back? And it's brutal. Like to come back and be short all of those cards and everything like that you missed for maybe 5 or 6 months, that now everybody is playing because they're the best thing that's out there. And now you have no way to get them unless they appear in a spotlight cache. So yeah, I agree. I think that there's things that they can do. I think there's things they need to look into and to do for, I think, the long-term health of the game. Because the last thing you want to do is see, look, there's another Marvel game coming. That one that everybody's looking at. I forget the name of it. It's supposed to be like Overwatch or something that's coming out. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but man, oh man, people are gonna. If Marvel IP, people are gonna play it. And so the last thing you want to do is everybody kind of start jumping ship because there's a better Marvel game out there that I'd rather play. So yeah, no, I agree with you guys. I think it's cool. All right. So I want to, speaking of which, did any of you run into the debacle with the US agent card? Oh my God, dude.
No,
we didn't. Neither of us have US agent.
Oh God, you're lucky you didn't even bother with it because let me tell you what. I went in to open my caches. So I go in, I clicked my first cache. Okay, there's Jeff. I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. I like the variant anyway. I open my second one. I get the Mirage. I'm like, okay, it's going to be one of those weeks. I'm going to go through 4 caches to get the card. I didn't even bother to look up at the top of my screen, which I should have, and then out of the corner of my eye, I glance up and I could see the US agent variant. But I'm not seeing the main card. And I'm like, what is going on? So I'm like, I threw another one in there anyway, and I got the 1,000 tokens. So now I'm down to 3. And then I'm like, all right, well, I got to get him now. I go put the 4th one in. I go to press it. It doesn't even open. The thing just sits there in the chest. It locked up my collection cache thing. Couldn't even go into it. And then when I backed out of it, I'm like, all right, there's something messed up. I went back into the game. I tried to split a card, and even that wouldn't work. It wouldn't even go up in the track. I'm like, oh, this is bad. So I go to their Discord and I see all these people in this thread. There's like a huge bug that you can't get the card. So I'm like, well, this sucks. I just blew through 4 keys actually, and didn't even get the card anyway and had to use tokens to buy it. So after all that, I ended up buying the card for 5,000 or 6,000 tokens,
Yep.
and it's garbage. The card is not good. So I went through that mess. Now I'm glad they gave you back the keys. I got my keys back, so that was good. We're getting 500 gold, which is good as well. But yeah, what a mess, man! I've never seen a bug that bad in the game before. But U.S. Agent is not great. In case you haven't noticed, we've talked about it on other shows before too. I try to play him with a Man-Thing deck, and he's just not good. He's just not good.
Yeah, I didn't even pick him up, so I didn't even have to. I didn't even think about spotlights that week or anything or tokens. I was like, everything's safe. And then I saw this whole debacle on Twitter. I was like, oh shit! I'm happy I didn't open them.
What a mess!
At least you got to keep your variants and got the keys back. So you got some free variants. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I got the Jeff and the Mirage. The Mirage is beautiful variant.
It's an awesome variant.
Yeah. The horse and everything, and it's really nice.
Some people were even mad about that. About they're like, oh well, they get free stuff now. And it's like, well, I'm not mad because I wasn't rolling for it anyway. So
they deserve it. They YOLO'd their keys into
I
feel like you should be rewarded for that. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. There I am sitting there like, well, what the hell do I do now? I just wasted 4 keys and my 4th one didn't even work. So yeah, I mean, they had to do it. It was really the first time I saw anything break that bad in the game. I don't even know what happened, but yeah, U.S. Agent. The fact of the matter is, you put him in a lane. If you're thinking he's going to take care of bigger cards when people are playing with a Red Hulk that's 27 or 24 points, do you think 3 points is going to matter? It's not. He's not good. So yeah. Let's talk about this week's card. Actually, did you guys get the card that came out? Did you get Red Guardian?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I did get Red Guardian. I kind of like him. He's kind of cool.
Okay.
3/3 erases the text of the lowest power minion and gives it -2. I think he's a cool card. I don't think he's amazing by any stretch. I think he's just he's a nice tech card. He's kind of he's like Cosmo to me. Not not with his ability or anything, but I feel like he's a card that's gonna be like Cosmo. Sometimes he'll be good in the meta, sometimes he won't. You pepper him in here and there. Just I think he's a nice tech card to have. I was playing him in a bunch of different decks, and he felt pretty good. He never felt crappy, and even the worst case scenario, he's a 3/5, right?
Yeah.
So which isn't horrible, but there's sniping Iron Men are great on Tribunal decks.
Tribunal, yeah.
Angela, I was sniping so much Angela. It was awesome. So even Sunspot, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It's great. If anything solo in a lane, like Morbius, Dracula.
Yep.
I mean, he's so good. You just that's a snap condition, so it's kind of cool. But yeah, I like him. Is he the best card ever? No, but he's a good card. That I would say he's like a Cosmo. He's that on that level. Same stats, but you don't always use Cosmo. You're not always gonna use Red Guardian, but he's cool.
No big deal. What'd you think of Red Guardian?
Red Guardian's a weird one to me because, I mean, I have just my personal, just total limited anecdotal, this card just came out, right? Yep. Experience. I'm tanked rank a little bit, trying to make this freaking card work, I was in the 2Ks and now I'm 4K or something, because I'm just trying to play these Red Guardian decks. But the actual Red Guardian himself feels really good. I'm snapping and playing him into an Angela lane, and it feels amazing. Play him into there's a lot you see on the screen right now. See that card, Nebula? Yep. Awesome target for Red Guardian right there. And there's a lot of Nebula out there right now. So there's a lot, he comes up all the time. It's Hope Summers, Angela, Nebula. People just aren't playing Dracula because of Red Guardian. I got an 8-cuber from an Iron Man. This guy is just the day Red Guardian came out, my second game, this guy's playing a Tribunal deck. Absolute psychopath. This guy's the top 1,000 player psychopath in his Tribunal deck. I have respect for him. That's insane. And so I just waited till turn 6. I had snapped back. He already snapped his deck and just played into the Iron Man lane. Thank you. It was an onslaught sitting there, just buffing nothing. It was beautiful. And I sent Kid the screenshot of that one. That
was great.
Hilarious. So he himself just objectively feels like a pretty good card, but I can't figure out a deck to play him in. I don't love Surfer because there's a bunch of clog out there right now.
Yeah, I don't like Surfer either.
Yeah. maybe I'm just a bad Surfer player. I mean, it could be that I'm not like an aficionado of the Surfer list or anything, but I can't figure out a spot for him yet. And if you guys got ideas, let me know. But for me, like I haven't been able to like win games with him yet, but the actual card feels pretty good.
Yeah. What did you think, kid?
Yeah, no, I liked him a lot. I thought he was good. I think probably I was playing him a lot in Clog. I found there's a Clog list that had Rogue in it, and so I just I think Sixational, his list. I just took out Rogue and put in Red Guardian. Felt great. I put him in Zemo lists. Felt pretty good.
Yep.
I'm not really a Surfer bro myself, but that seems to be. Well, it looks like one of the better lists for him. People playing him in Surfer, so that seems to be good. But I don't really play that much Surfer, so I haven't tried that. But yeah, just like a bunch of random decks, I just slot him in as the tech card. Take out the tech card that I already had, like Cosmo or Shang-Chi or whatever, Rogue, and then put him in instead. And he felt pretty good in those lists, So I think he's just going to be meta dependent, really. What kind of hurt him a little bit was Zabu's nerf, because he's like amazing to just pick off Zabu. Zabu was everywhere before, but it is what it is. I think he's a cool card to have. Definitely not a must buy by any means, but like he's a nice tech card to have. I think it'll come and go.
Yep. I'm going to ask you guys, what have you been playing lately? This deck up here, Black Dama made this Galactus deck, and I've been playing the hell out of it. I absolutely loved it. He posted it. Obviously, you can see up there, it's Nebula, it's Nico. I never considered ever playing Nico in a Galactus deck. Ever. She works out really well. I love the combination with her and Electro. You could throw her out and just have Electro come out and destroy the Electro, so you don't get the drawback to him. Jeff's in there, obviously. Wave, Shang-Chi, the Goblin, of course, Hobgoblin, Professor X, Galactus, Alioth, and of course the card that's in just about every deck out there right now, at least that I've seen playing most of the day today, is Red Hulk. This card, dude, just nasty, man. Whether I'm playing Hela and he's in there, or whether I don't know. This card just flat out wins games. Most of the time he can't be shot. I'm even seeing today Ghost being played in decks because of him, I think, because they're going to be able to Shang-Chi him at the end of the game. It's insane. But yeah, what are you playing? No big deal lately.
Well, I would say first on this deck, I mean, I got a pretty good look at it because Tucker played this in the tournament that we played a couple weeks ago, and
yes, he did.
I had to play against it, but unfortunately, this deck has Goliath, and I was playing Invisible Woman Hela, so that was not good for me.
Yeah,
but we had a nice sweaty series. But this deck's terrifying, and also the Demon into the Electro is another way to shut off his thing. You got Destroy and Demon, so you're pretty much gonna hit it if you wait long enough. But yeah, I've been playing like Hela's been my best deck so far this season. I've been playing random like Red Guardian stuff, like Surfer stuff like that, and I've been messing around with, like today I played a lot of Clog, and I'm actually liking Clog quite a bit right now because I'm trying various forms of it. Oh, I just picked up Cannonball today. So I'm out of tokens. I have 2K tokens right now.
worth.
I did the math. So next month there's some obvious skips next month. So I'll be okay. But I've been messing around with Cannonball sick right now. And so I'm doing Cannonball stuff. And I just think it's the Angela Kitty.
Show it on the green screen there. Let me see if I can get it up there.
Okay, yeah, we got Hood. Oh, Celine. I see Celine in there.
We got Hood, Celine, Hazmat, the Green Goblin. We've got Debris, Red Guardian, Luke Cage, Shang, Man Thing. We've got Sentry and Annihilus, and then Cannibal.
Yeah,
in that one. So yeah, yep. Clog's pretty good. What version of the Clog deck are you playing?
Oh man, I forget the guy's name. What was the guy with AR-15 or something, kid, or AR-14?
Andre VAR-14.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
Andre VAR-14. He posted on Twitter. I think he's a top 100 ladder player. I think he got to rank 40 with the Clog deck, and so yeah, it's a fun. Go if you want to read the list. No big deal.
I'll have to check it out.
I have it pulled up. You want me to say it?
Sure. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, it's Hood, Nebula, Daredevil, Jeff, Ravonna, Green Goblin, Debris, Sentry, Hobgoblin, Professor X, Annihilus, Cannonball.
Nice.
Yeah, the Prof and the Cannonball together are pretty disgusting, for sure. And I just find Clog is like So we got like the Angela Kitty meta, right? And then a lot of people are saying, well, all right, screw this Angela Kitty stuff. I just want to just do some crazy combo and just go over the top of it. They'll put out their 22 and 28 power or whatever, and I'll just play Hela, and it'll spit out a Red Hulk and an Infinite and just annihilate them, right? So people are playing this combo stuff, Living Tribunal, a lot of Mr. Negative. I mean, Yo Woody got top 2 with Mr. Negative.
Mr.
I mean,
Negative, yeah.
we're in a psychotic meta right now. I mean, I actually love that, by the way. Like the top 2 guys, Mr. Negative, like that's sick. But the fact that like Clog is good against all of these combo decks, all of them, including especially Mr. Negative. There's already a -1 over there. Like you already got your negative rock. They put it there for you. It's great. So I think it's great into these decks. So that's what I'm messing around with now. Also, it's just fun. And Cannonball's like it's almost like Galactus, but you could play it with Debris.
Yes.
Whereas Galactus has to be alone in his lane, and Cannonball doesn't have that restriction, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Cannonball's a pretty fun card. It's a lot of people are using it in decks like that. But yeah, it's a good thought, using that, because you're right. I mean, so many decks now are, the mid-range ones where you're seeing similar decks to like Silky Smooth with Angela and Elsa and Kitty and all that stuff going on. Loki's playing that line now too, which I've seen a good deal of Loki the last 3 or 4 days, I think too. So they're playing that as well. So yeah, I could see where Clog would fit in and be a good deck right now. So yeah, that's
Quinjet's cool. A great Red Guardian hit too, but that came up once in one game I played. Yeah, you hit Quinjet, it's really nice on the Red Guardian as well.
Yep. But this list that I was playing, it got me like 20 some levels on ladder, which I was really surprised. But I think it's just because people, I don't think, are necessarily expecting it with the ramp that you're going to play Galactus for sure, because you don't have the other Goblin in there. The Hobgoblin is in there, and a lot of times I just won games with Red Hulk and Prof X. I would shut down a lane and I'd win the other lane with Red Hulk. So do you guys think that Red Hulk's getting nerfed?
Hell yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
What would you do with it? What if you had the opportunity? What would you do to him? Would you just lower his power?
I'd go to 8 power to start. I just put his base to 8. Just go -3 power. I'd like to start there personally. I like the +4. I like the idea of it because it's like it pays off if you get it early, but you don't get it later. It's kind of like I like it when cards are a little more polarized. Personally, a lot of people don't. They like just boring, kind of just good value, whatever. But I'm one of the kind of crazy people. But I think the card's more interesting at a +4. The obvious change is to go to +3 every time, right? But I would rather try him at 8 base power first. Starts at a 6-8, which is horrible, and a 6-12 is not good either because we've seen what happened. Nobody played old Red Hulk, so he'd have to zap at least twice to even be playable. And I think that's a good place to start.
Kid, what do you think, man?
I like 6-10 +3. Honestly,
6-10
I think that after 1 tick, he shouldn't be better than Giganto. like he takes 1 tick, he's a 6, 15 that can go anywhere, and you're like, Giganto, you can only play left. He's a 6-14.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it should be like after 1 tick should not be a far and away much better card than Giganto. Yep. Then if you get 2 ticks, it's 6-16, which is probably what he's going to be most of the time.
Yeah.
And then 6-19 is pretty sick too, and he shouldn't be better than Infinite all the time.
Yeah.
Which this card freaking gets up to over 20 so easily.
Yes, it does.
I think a 6-10 +3, 3 ticks, he gets 19. He's still a little bit worse than Infinite. I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't know why you would ever play Infinite in your deck if you have Red Hulk, unless you're playing both.
Yep.
Or Giganto for that matter.
There are a lot of people playing High Evo now too, because he was in the spotlight cache, I think, because a lot of people may have got him now that didn't have him before. And you're seeing those decks that have all the Hulks, the Red Hulk, the regular Hulk, and She-Hulk in the deck, which is nuts. Some of them are playing Moon Girl, so they can have the multiple She-Hulk, and no, they aren't using Infinite anymore, to your point. But yeah, Red Hulk is just, I never see him when I have him in my deck, and you wouldn't think that this would be the case, but people skip a lot of, they don't use their energy every turn. I never see him mostly below a 20 something. I never ever see him below a 20 something in my deck. So
yeah, it's hard to curve out. Yeah, and actually that makes so much sense that you said that about the High Evo, because I was playing a lot yesterday and last night. And I'm like, what the hell are all these high evil people? And what the hell's
Tons of
going on in the
high
ladder,
evil.
man?
Yes.
And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, it's in the spotlight, guys. That's why I'm
Yeah,
like,
don't they know that Red Hulk is out there? What are they doing?
I saw like so much affliction, abomination, affliction. I'm like, what the hell's going on
Yes.
here,
Yeah.
man? I'm like,
Yep.
this
Yep.
like a really good deck right now. I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think and I think even like either of those changes is a 6-8 +4 or 6-10 +3. I think he's still a really, really good card. Like he's not that doesn't kill the card. He's still really good. Like if he ticks twice with my version, he's a 6-16, which is insane.
Yep.
Still a great card, but like
also to you guys, we got to shout out Cozy Meta Tastemaker Cozy. I think he did a high evo video.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah,
so
he did.
The kid you were saying affliction kid. I think it was because Red Guardian is an affliction card.
Yeah.
So I think he's using Red Guardian in a high evo.
Scorpion and all the affliction cards. Yes, Abomination. I think he even has a Hazmat in there with no Luke Cage. So he just throws Hazmat in to get some of the affliction so he can free up the Abomination and stuff like that. Alex also made a high evo deck. And he was using Moon Girl. So he was doing the Moon Girl with the double abominations and stuff like that. So you always know. It's funny you mentioned that because you always know when you're playing this game, you're like, why the hell am I seeing all of this type of deck? And then you go on YouTube and you're seeing, oh, okay. Now I know why.
Shout out to Cozy. He's smart. He's like, hey, it's high evo's in the bundle this week. Like,
no doubt.
Let's go with that one. Like, it's smart, man. And it's what the people would want, right? If it's to your point, Joe, they just picked up high evo, then it's like cool. You got something to play if you follow Cozy, right? So.
There's a cool high evo too, by the way. He's the MCU version, and it was cool because he's the first card. Now mine says custom, but the regular one actually has MCU variant, which I thought was neat because they didn't. Now they've had some others. You could see it written there. It's hard.
Yeah, it does say MCU variant.
Yeah, and that's the first one that does. I posted that up there, and like I don't ever think I remember. Now there are other MCU cards in the game. The Captain America with the Wakanda shields is one that I can think of, but there's a bunch. But I think this is the first one that they named an MCU variant. So I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. But yeah, so High Evo is one of the spotlight caches, and I think that's the reason why you're seeing a lot of that running around. And it's still a good deck. It really is. It's still a good deck. All these months later, a lot of people end up playing with that deck. So yeah, so awesome. Very cool.
I think it's the best card personally that you can get for your resources.
No doubt. No doubt.
Easily high evo because it's always competitive and it's like very free to play friendly.
Yeah.
I think Wasp is the only series 3, right?
Yep, for sure. And everybody should probably have all the cards. Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk to you guys about one more card because I've had everybody involved in this discussion too that I've had on the show. So I want to get your thoughts. We all know Thanos took a big hit, right? And, and what direction they're going in. But this has me really intrigued because I love the character and I love the lore of the character of Thanos, always have, even before the MCU. But now it looks as if they're making the stones Thanos-centric. And I was talking on my show a couple of weeks ago about how I would do this. And I just want to get your thoughts. If that's what they're going to do, what are some of the kind of things you guys would like to see? Me personally, and I know they wouldn't do this, I don't think, because I think it'd be way overpowered. But I would love to see the stones all do something to Thanos to give him another type of power. Mm-hmm. And then if you collect the 6, you see a graphic on the screen comes down, could either be the glove being filled or the snap itself. And then you wipe out if you play Thanos in a lane, he snaps the things in the lane out of the lane. I know they'll never do it because it's way overpowered because you win a lane. It's just a you win card in that lane, but that would be amazing to see. And can you imagine like the dust effect where you just see them go and each card in there just goes. I think that would be awesome. But I hope that they're going to do that with the stones. Give him certain different powers, whether it's -1 to a lane, the lane he's in, or stuff like that. But I think would be better for the lore of what Thanos used to be, because who gave a crap about Thanos as a card? Nobody played him. There have been many times I played that deck. He was a 620 sitting there and I didn't play him. So, what do you guys think about Thanos? What do you think about where they're going to go?
Kid, you got to do your snap.
All right, fine.
Idea,
Yeah, it's funny. We talked about this a while ago. Even like just, I think we talked a little bit on our pod, and then
I think we were
like,
DMing. I think we were DMing.
Okay,
about it.
yeah,
we talked a little bit. Yeah, we talked a little bit on the pod, but then we DM'd some of our wild ideas for Thanos, and I kind of agree with you. Like, I would personally love if they would just all the stones affected Thanos in some way, kind of like you said, and then he was just an OP card at the end if you like got it, because then like you said, as a 620, no one ever plays him.
Yep.
But my idea for him was, I didn't think about all the stones, but I think like his tech should read, if it's kind of similar to yours actually, but I love this. If all of his 6 Infinity Stones are on the board and Thanos is played, erase half of the cards on board.
That'd be amazing.
Including your own.
Including your own. Yeah,
exactly. Even if, like I said, even if they were random, make it completely random,
just
that he wipes out half of the cards.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. And then I was even going a little further.
And not kill.
Right. Just wipe, but go even further is to say, like, it would be a reason for people to play Colossus in a deck because he can't be killed by it. So cards like that can't be destroyed, he would survive it. So people could even play Colossus. Yeah, that would be amazing, dude. I would love to see, and I hope that's what they're doing with it.
No, I'd even want him for personally. I'd want him to have the killed the Colossus. Like, I don't want the text. I don't want the text to be destroyed. I want it to be like
erased. Erased.
Yeah.
Just that's it. Like, no one's safe. Half the cards are gone.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, Professor X-Lane, like, doesn't matter.
Everything gone, or half. And it could be like all your cards that end up dying. Right? This is a big dice roll.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah,
I don't know if that would be OP or if it would just be horrible, but it would be hilarious and it would be fun. I think
it would be so good. I think because again, it's the lore of the character. That's what he is. And he was never played. Everybody just played it for the stones to cheat out stuff. So yeah, what do you think? No big deal.
I would like, because before pre-snap, and like if we take the erasing half the cards, out of it, because that's crazy, right? But I think it's hilarious too. But he does kind of take on everybody, right? Like, he's always stronger than everybody. Like, everybody fights him and nobody can beat him, right? So I do like the idea of each stone gives him a power. So like, I think a lot of the stones you maybe don't even need to change. Like, you could do Soul Stone, makes him negatively affect adjacent locations or something like that, or like affect a enemy all cards with -1 or whatever, all cards -2 on adjacent locations or something like that. So you could have Thanos like that. So you like just slam him in the middle and it's just like boof. But that's only if you played the Soul Stone. Time Stone already discounts him by 1. Space Stone, maybe you play him down and you can move the cards to other spots. So like, you're playing him in the middle and then you can move them somewhere else and give them +2 power or something, so I would like that. Yeah, just all a bunch of power ups, but I think they would have to affect the other lanes or else it wouldn't like really be viable. Like, he would still just be a big dude and you probably still just lose the other 2 lanes. Like, you're investing all these stones into powering him up. Sure, you slam him on the lane, he wins that lane, but you're just going to lose, right? So I think he's got to they got to like affect the other 2 lanes too somehow. So I don't know how they would do it. I don't know what Mind Stone would do, but yeah, I would like that too. Like, everything, just give him a Mr. Fantastic or something, or I don't know. Mind Stone, maybe silence the cards, like, because their mind. It's their mind. I don't know, right? Their mind, like, it's red guard. Remove the text from 2 cards on the right or something, or 2 random enemy cards. Remove the text. I think it'd be kind of cool. So yeah, I was trying to think of like the in the movies and what the stones did for him. I remember when he had the blue stone, he was able to like teleport away to other places and just like all of those other things. But yeah, I just think that would be really cool and really neat. And I wouldn't be that upset about it if they made him that way, because it would make the deck more centered around him rather than the stones. So yeah, I think that'd be cool. I'm excited to see what they choose to do. And who knows, maybe that's why some of these patches are taking a little longer, because I think they're definitely going to go through with these changes probably sooner than later. So all right, so moving on here, we are going to go into the main topic of discussion for this evening, and this is going to be fun. We are going to look at
the lost data mine cards, the cards that we've never seen released. These things just sit in when you go and you look up the data mines on snap.fan or snapzone, wherever. These are the cards that have been sitting there for months on end. They either never got released, probably never will, many of them, or at least released the way that they read. But we're going to go through these one by one, and this should be a lot of fun as this discussion here. And I want to get your ideas on each one of these cards as we go through. So the one we're going to start with here is we've got Bullseye. Bullseye is of course, Daredevil villain. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll come out when they release the new Daredevil series, which I know is done filming and stuff now, so maybe next year. He's the main villain in that, so that's possible. He's a 1/2. On reveal, the next card you draw will be a 2-cost card, if any are left. So what do you guys think of Bullseye here? And do you think there's any chance we see him get released like this?
Shout out Colin Farrell. First of all, this was Colin Farrell in the Daredevil movie with
I remember that with the Ben Affleck one.
He was actually kind of a sick villain in that movie.
He wasn't
all
bad.
His shots like hit like he can't miss, basically.
Yes, he never misses. He's the villain in the new Netflix series, Daredevil Born Again. So the new poster that came out is half and half. Daredevil's face and Bullseye's face is on the other half. So so he's supposed to be the main character in it. So we'll see him sooner than later. But what do you think of the card?
I kind of wish he killed a 2-cost personally instead of drawing one. That would be because that kind of fits his lore better. I think he should just kill a 2-cost card, like when you like similar to Elektra, but play him, make him like a -1 or something. I don't love this effect. The next card you draw will be a 2-cost card if there are any left. That sounds like he'd never get played, I think so.
I
think they get a rework.
Depends on the deck, right? Like there's the 2-drops that are great. Like if it's Pixie, right? If you're discard your Morbius. I mean, I don't know how you fit this in a discard list, but like. Invisible Woman if you're playing Invisible Woman, Cable if you're playing Loki or anything like that, Wolverine again for destroy, discard, Carnage, Zabu. No, I mean if Zabu ever goes back to being a relevant card, it'd be good, right? Ravonna is a nice card to pull. Mysterio if you're playing a bounce deck, Falcon if you're playing a bounce deck, Beast if you're playing a bounce deck. There's a lot of good drops. I mean, now is he worth a slot in those decks? I don't know. Phoenix Force will pull multiple man, which is pretty sick. A Hulkbuster. I don't know. It seems pretty cool. I think that
you're cooking, kid. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he would be okay. I don't know if he's good enough in any of those, but there's a lot of very important 2-drops in a lot of decks, right? That like if you're guaranteed to draw them, like it's pretty sweet. Like imagine if you're playing like your Hela Invisible Woman. If you get Invisible Woman, pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think from his lore, the character, he's kind of similar to Gambit, not just with the playing cards, but he can pick up an object and just make it like a deadly weapon, basically. So you can see him with cards because he'll do that from time to time. But to me, I would think maybe just to snipe a card somehow. He's a 1/2, but he can shoot down a card. I don't know. Maybe make him a little, but you already have that in Gambit. So I don't know if they would do that similar type of thing. I mean, this isn't bad. On reveal, next card you draw will be a 2-cost. Like Kid was saying, there are a lot of good 2-costs that you may want to play in the game. So, I don't know. I'm sure we'll see him. Like I said, they're probably holding him for the Daredevil thing I'm sure they'll do a Daredevil series or a theme when that comes out. I think it's next year. So, I'm sure they're probably holding him for that. But yeah, not so bad, I don't think, compared to some of these other ones we're going to come up on in a little bit here. All right.
It's cool though. It's a cool concept. I like it.
Yeah, it's neat, different. And that's what you'll see with a lot of these. Some of them are extremely crazy. That, like I said, will never be done. But and some of them are just ridiculous. That you'll see coming up. All right, our next one, Flatman. He is basically a cartoony, goofy version of Mr. Fantastic. And he is flat. He looks like a piece of paper. And he's a running joke in Marvel Comics. He appears, it's almost like a Spider-Ham type of thing when he's in the comics. He's a comedy character, but he's a 2/2. Adjacent locations have +1 power. So essentially he's a worse Mr. Fantastic. And that's kind of really what he is in the books, is a worse Mr. Fantastic. So So I don't know. Honestly, I'm thinking this one might be a meme anyway. I don't know that we're ever going to see a card of Flatman. I think they might have just done this because it's silly. Because again, he's not really that popular at all in the comics. You don't see him very much unless it's a comedy type book. So I don't know that this one's ever going to get made. But what do you guys think of Flatman and his lovely little crew cutty going? I don't know, man. He's got weird looking hair. But what do you think of he kind of has Johnny Bravo haircut a little bit.
He does a little bit
with the thing. Yeah.
I love it.
Mama. What do you guys think of Flatman?
It looks like a bad card. I mean, it's kind of I guess it's a cool effect if you want to make him a worse Mr. Fantastic. But I mean, like Squirrel Girl is probably just like better, right? I mean, she takes 2 extra slots, I guess, on the board. But I mean, a 2/2 plus 1's a 2/4. If they made him a 2/3 plus 1 on each power, maybe that would be okay for some like spreadable power if you want to gain priority. But it doesn't. I mean, Mr. Fantastic never sees play. I don't think he would see play. There's too many good 2-drops.
Ongoing decks are usually where you see Mr. Fantastic, and even then, not much. So yeah, go ahead, kid.
I would say, like, you know, Miss Marvel's in the game now, like you said, kid. You know, Squirrel Girl's in the game, Mr. Fantastic's in the game, and also Omega Red is in the game too, right? So we already have this effect a lot. I would love it if Flatman came to Marvel Snap, but I think they got to rework him, though. You know, this can't be the effect. But this is great. Like, look at this. Like, this is my kind of card right here. You know, like I would want to make some bullshit like this work, but I would like maybe to see something like disruptive or like annoying. You know, like he looks like he would kind of like just like be annoying, right? If he showed up to the fight and like people are trying to like defeat Ultron or something, like freaking Flatman shows up. So I would like to see maybe something like techy or disruptive. Rather than like a power, because obviously it doesn't like look very powerful, right? And Miss Marvel, Fantastic, we already do the you know, Omega Red, we have that in 3 cards literally, so the exact same effect. So we don't need a 4th one that nobody's gonna play. And so yeah, I would love it if he came to the game for sure.
He's called the 2D Avenger, or no, I'm sorry, the 2D Defender is what they call him. His abilities: a flat body and elasticity. So there you go. He came out, I think it was 1989. John Byrne actually created him. So there you go. He's in the West Coast Avengers. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see him at some point, sometime. He can withstand all forms of physical injury at a superhuman level, right angle, and slip through very thin spaces, owing to his nearly 2-dimensional body. He can also turn his entire body into any shape, including animals such as frogs or monkeys, in the style of origami. So he can turn himself into origami animals.
That's amazing.
Oh my God.
That'd be hilarious.
Now I think I need to have him in the game too. Yeah, after reading that. So yeah, there you go. I don't think I've ever read a book. I'm gonna have to look at some comics now.
I thought of a random effect based on your description, Joe. What if you play your Flatman, because he can't be destroyed, right? He's like indestructible, but he's annoying and he can't like kill anybody, right? So what if like you play him, you have to have priority, but whatever 2 cards they play, it's 2 cards because he's stretching, right? Like Mr. Fantastic, right? So he stretches out, and whatever, like the 2 random cards your opponent plays move somewhere else. So like you play a card, but then like a stretchy effect goes out and like blocks you from playing there, right? Like he's indestructible. Then so it's like, and then you just like move. It doesn't kill it because he's not like strong, right? But it's just like it just inconveniences you, you know, like
dodges it out of the way.
It's kind of like messes your shit up a little bit, like, you know, like a shell game or something. Like I think something like that would be kind of funny and it'd be memey, and it would be good for like, you know, clips and stuff.
That would be great.
That might work. I mean, I love this too. It says he never appeared to be able to assume a normal 3-dimensional shape. However, he has since revealed that he can assume that shape at will. So he was never able to do 3D. But apparently since then he has done that. So there you go. All right. So that is Flatman.
I wonder if sorry, Joe, I don't mean to cut you off. I thought of something too. I'm having fun with this guy.
Yeah, go.
What if since he's like he can slide in anywhere? Like I don't know if the game UI can handle this, but maybe he can be like a 5th card in a lane because he can like squeeze in.
Ooh.
Could you imagine if they
I
just
love
stuck him in
that.
between the lines of
He
the
could be a
thing? Oh
fifth
my
card, yeah.
God, that would
I
be
mean, like he's not gonna
hilarious.
be like a 20 power card or anything.
No,
Like,
no.
he's a 2-dropper, something small, but like you can put a fifth card. Like you can
Yeah,
just
it's like a 2/2, like he is. Yeah.
That would be
that'd be hilarious.
tremendous. Could you imagine, like in the lanes, the way you have it, and if he came out, and all of a sudden you'd kind of see him like fill the cracks around the cards, and you'd have
Yeah,
that
yeah.
other card. That would be awesome. Oh my God, I would love that. That would be
Yeah.
amazing. Could you imagine if it would prevent like something from happening, like from somebody from destroying any of your cards or something in that lane for a
That'd be
turn
hilarious.
or something? Oh, that would be awesome. I would love that. That's a great idea, dude. I love that. That's fantastic.
That's great.
All right, what do we got next here? We're going to go on to the next one, and it is the Goblin Queen. She is a 2/3 on reveal. Other cards can't be revealed this turn, so kind of like Super Giant, I think, and maybe that's why we may see her completely reworked, or I don't know. I don't. She's a popular character in Marvel, so I imagine we'll see her in the game at some point. But I'm not sure if she'll get this stat line. So no big deal. Goblin Queen. What do you think?
This one is probably like, for Marvel Snap terms, the most interesting one we've seen so far. It's not quite like Super Giant because Super Giant is on a 1-turn delay, and this one says this turn. So this is like that location. When you play a freaking like Reality Stone and the little splash location was whoosh, and
Not
it does
Lemuria, is it?
it's Lemuria, yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And so it's basically that, right? So this is like you get priority, and then like you really mess your opponent up. So like if they have a Wong, they have even just Angela, Kitty, Hope Summers, right? They're trying to proc their Angela. They're trying to proc, these Kitty Pride decks, they always pass Prio when she goes back to the hand and stuff, right? So you throw a Goblin Queen down. I think she'd probably have to be like a 2/4, honestly, but like I don't think anyone would play her at a 2/3. But this is maybe an interesting effect, like if you just put her stats to 2/4. Interesting, kind of like you said, like a Super Giant, Joe, like similar kind of tech, but different application, and she's cost half as much, which is a big deal.
True. Yeah, that's true. Go ahead, kid.
I think even as a 2/3, she'd be a really, really good card. I mean, this is a pretty sick ability. Like to be able to disrupt your opponent, like any turn. Like for a 2-drop, it's a 2-drop so easy to throw in any deck. But like any combos or anything like that, like their cards aren't getting revealed. It's like you delay them a turn. It's kind of good actually.
But she's a brick if you don't have Prile though. So you have to. That's so you got to think about that too. Like she's like a Goliath where it's this turn. So if you play her without priority, she's literally just a what's it called? Not Shocker. Oh, Shocker. Yeah, she's like a non-evo, high evo Shocker.
Yeah. Same stat line actually.
That doesn't get a Patriot buff.
I did not realize this. She was the original love interest of and first wife of Cyclops. So she has telepathy, similar to Jean Grey, sorcery, evocation or regeneration, and reality warping, telekinesis, and a psychic blast. So very similar powers to what Jean Grey has. So there you go. So that's a little bit about Goblin Queen. I don't think she's too bad in the way she is there, and would be interesting to see if that's brought in, or if the same thing is brought into Marvel Snap at some point with the card. I'm pretty sure we'll see her because again, she was a pretty big standing card with the X-Men and been in a lot of the comic books. So, all right, we're gonna move on to the next one. We have got Gore. We know him from, most people know him at least from the last Thor movie. He is Gore the God Butcher, and what he does on reveal, this is disgusting. Destroys all 6 cost cards wherever they are, and he's a 0/0 stat line. So obviously he doesn't have a stat line. Whenever you see a card like this that's data mined with zeros, they don't have a stat line for him.
Yeah,
I'd imagine he would have no power. He'd probably be a 6/0.
I was there. Let's for this conversation, let's call it a 6/0.
Yeah,
because it's still probably busted at 6/0.
Oh, no doubt. Destroys every single 6 card on the board. I mean, it does fit his lore. They call him the God Butcher. He kills the gods. So that's would fit. He's killing all of your big, huge cards. So, I mean, this would be super powerful in just about any deck type you would put him in. So what do you think of God of Gore, kid?
I think he's okay. I think even as a 6-0, he'd be okay, not
Yeah.
overpowered, honestly.
Mhm.
It's wherever they are too. So it's like it's in decks as well.
Yep.
So like if you have 6 costs in your deck, they have 6 costs in their deck or on the board, they're all getting destroyed. There's a lot of decks that quite frankly don't run 6 drops. So
Yeah.
you know, some of the clog decks don't even have 6 drops. So he'd just be a useless card there. And then like she'd be a great counter for Hela, you know, just
He's a hella killer.
yeah. I think
No doubt.
would he have to be less than 6 so that you actually get to destroy the 6 cost card, or do you ramp him out then? I play like Corvus or something, or like
Yeah, well,
be a
that's
ramp card. I don't know.
yeah, that's true. Well, and in most cases too, right? Hela doesn't get out a lot of her cards until the very last turn anyway. So yeah, that's true. It'd be weird how you'd have to play that. But yeah. I don't know. I like the artwork on this too, and he's just a cool looking villain. They didn't do justice to him in the movie, I don't think, even though Christian Bale played him. And yeah, did an okay job. They made him a little silly though. He in the comics, he's just downright brutal in the book. So kid, what yeah, you talked about him, no big deal. What do you think about Gore?
Yeah, he's an interesting card for sure. I mean, I think the most interesting part about it is the phrase wherever they are. So this includes the hand, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
That's
Yeah. So, but to the kid's point, there's you know, not all decks are playing 6 drops. Even if they are, you could just play something else, right? Like, so let's say like I don't know, you play Shang-Chi instead of, you know, because Gore killed your 6. Say they ramped out a Gore and they kill your 6 drops, and you just play Shang-Chi and a Jeff on turn 6 instead. And I mean, they're playing. I mean, they have to play like a 6-0 or something, right? Like, or whatever. Like, obviously, this guy's going to have a horrible stat line, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So they're giving up something to play him, and it might not matter in the game. Another thing is priority as well. So if you didn't pass priority as the Gore player, it's destroy all 6 costs wherever they are. But on turn 6, if somebody plays a 6-drop, and then, I don't think it would go face down. That's what I'm kind of thinking here is where I'm getting at. I don't think it's going to kill a face down 6-drop, but maybe it would, right? Because that's wherever. Okay, well, if it does that too, I mean, shit, you know, like get them out of here. I guess.
You need priority. You need priority though, right? Because if you're playing against Hela, let's say they throw Hela on 6, the on reveal would still go off. Then it would kill the Hela after. I mean, I guess it would kill like Infinite and all the other OP 6 drops, so it would destroy them. But I mean, the on reveals would still go off, right? But I don't know. I think it's a really cool card. Like you just get like if you're playing against Sarah decks, like he's just a dead card, right? He's
nothing. No doubt.
He's
useless, you're not getting any 6s. Yeah.
So like I think he's a fair card, honestly. Like he has a really OP ability, but like again, there's a lot of decks that don't even play 6 drops or don't need to play 6 drops, where he's just a dead card. And there's a lot of decks that he just like would just destroy on his own. Just kind of cool.
He would also be the death of Galactus. You'd pour one out for Galactus because you'd never see Galactus played. Yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, I hope they do him justice when they do come out with him because he is a good character, and that is an interesting effect if they decide to bring it out that way. So,
I gotta at least make the prediction here that I think he would be broken with this effect, even at a horrible stat line. It's just there's nothing in the game that does this. Like Killmonger, the closest thing I would say, and Killmonger's only on the board, only face up, not in your deck, not in your hand, only 1 drop. So you know what I mean? Like that's the closest thing we have. This is like way more like sweeping effect than Killmonger, like way less restrictive. And that just seems insane. Like Shang-Chi's only that lane, you know, like Gambit's 1 random card. Like this is just all of the 6 drops. I mean, that just sounds absolutely bonkers to me.
Yeah.
And yes, you're gonna have some decks where you know you don't play it, but you just don't play it in those matchups, right? You just play something else, you know.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to make a Gore deck, right? You can just have Gore in your deck.
Yep. Yeah, it is a sick card. I don't know if it'll come out this way, but again, I'm pretty sure they'll release this card at some point because it's just a popular character. But yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see what he comes out like. But it is a very, very sick ability, no doubt. All right, moving on. Our next card is J. Jonah Jameson, baby. I want this card so bad. I know
Yeah.
this is, kid told me this is an April Fool's joke. I'm sure it was.
I think it was for last year. Yeah, I'm pretty
I
sure.
want this to be a card. He is a 1/1. We all know who J. Jonah Jameson is from Spider-Man, the editor, the one with the Hitler mustache back in the day, who hates everything and everybody, even Peter Parker. And his ongoing ability is your emotes are ruder, which I I think this would be hilarious if this made it into the game. I don't think it ever will because there's so much controversy about emotes and crap now. God only knows what that would mean. That's your emotes are ruder. But yeah, man, I think this is, they made this as a joke, but I think this is hilarious. If we ever got cards like this in the game, I think they would be great. We're going to see a little more like this of like the kind of some side characters that are in Marvel Comics that'll probably never see their own cards, but this is just the first one of them. So, J. Jonah Jameson, guys, what do you think?
Nobody, I'll let you go last because you're the emote guy. I love him. I think it's great. I think he should be a 1/1 ongoing. Disable the mute button.
That's what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
But I have other ideas too. You go ahead. Yeah.
The psychological warfare. You're adding a 1/1.
God.
You're adding a useless 1/1 to your deck, but then you can emote the crap out of people, and they can't mute you. So it might net you some cubes. They might just retreat because they don't want
that would be
to see your
amazing.
spam, or they would just spam back. I mean, it would be horrible, but it'd be just a bad card, but it'd be really, really funny. I think.
That would be amazing, man. I'm thinking of the Chattiator's little thought bubble as your emote, that you'll have that available where you can like basically curse the other player, because that's technically what he kind of does. So kid, sorry, no big deal. What are you thinking, man?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I think this should be, I would literally play this if it was 1/3 and then ongoing is your emotes are ruder and can't be muted. I think that's actually the card. I'll play it in Zoo for sure. I would play Zoo just so I can play this card. Like that's just whatever. I got a 1/3. I buff it with Kazar. Maybe it's a 1/4. It does a little bit of something, right?
Oh.
Not totally losing me the game. Just like it's still not a great competitive card, but like, my God, like the second this guy comes down, like, like we're coming in hot with I'm just gonna run all of them one at a time. I'm just gonna cycle through all of my emotes just as they're going, and then as I'm going, I'll just play my turn normally. But then once it passes them, it's just like boom, 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 just one at a time, and they're come out ruder and can't be muted. I think that's amazing, and we need pictures of Spider-Man.
Oh my God, dude! And they already have a sound effect for him in the game with the Daily Bugle when you hear Parker. So he's already in the game anyway. Oh my gosh, yeah. This could be so much fun. And yeah, like you guys were saying, the people who can't stand being emoted would probably just leave the game, and you'd get a kick out of it if he got played. So yeah, man, this is hilarious. I doubt it'll ever come to pass, but it's pretty funny, and yeah, this would be a blast to play.
I love it.
Yeah.
Or you could just put like a big swear bubble that covers their
board.
They can't see their board for one turn. Yes. Like they're not allowed to see their board for one turn. It's a big swear bubble. It's an on reveal, just like it
just
covers
a
the
big
board.
Cover, like when the creators put out the things for Stream Sniper.
Yes,
like the whole board is just taken up by. Oh my God.
Yeah. So like for one turn, they don't know what they're playing. They have to remember. Like maybe they remember, but. Yeah. If they forget, then they can screw themselves. It'd be hilarious.
I love that. That's hilarious.
Oh, this would be great. I will never see it, but it's such a cool thing, man. I love this. All right, what's you got next is Gwenpool. Gwenpool, I'm sure we're going to be getting it. We might get this in July. Because July, I would imagine, it's got to be a Deadpool a month with the movie coming out. So Gwenpool on reveal, double this card's power. Doesn't seem that great. She's a 2/1. She's only going to go to a 2/2. They've got to do something a little better with Gwenpool. She's pretty popular in comics and stuff. So it's kind of a very vanilla, power for her for the card. So I don't think this comes out the way it is, but in any case,
Joe,
you think so? Okay, all right. Hey, listen, I'm open to suggestions, man. Go right ahead.
Well, I mean, it's same effect as Black Panther, right? This is just Black Panther, right?
It's true. Okay,
it's exact same effect. Of course, this is going to be Forge, Beast,
Nakia,
Okoye, all of the buffs. You know, that's what she's gonna be, right? Like, so we got a bouncer, you know, play it again, you know, absorbing man on beast, so we can
for
freaking
a
play. Like,
bounce deck.
this is gonna get obnoxious, right?
Mm.
Maybe grandmaster on the beast, so that I could bounce her again, you know, like all this stuff. Buffer up, Yuri, abuse. Gwenpool 5, Taskmaster 6. I mean, this is the so is that a thing? You know, if she's a 2/2 and that's the effect. I mean, that's just that might just be way too broken, right? So I think that's what they're thinking with this stat line.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, no, you're right. You can tell how little I play bounce. But yeah, no, you're right. And maybe it's actually a little overpowered in that case. And they might change it from the double thing.
Think about Wong too, right? Wong, like Odin. Just think about Black Panther shit, right? Like same stuff, right?
Yep.
Oh, you can play Odin on her too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, that's all true. But as a 2/1, I don't think she's good enough at all. I don't know what deck you're playing her in. That's gonna get you. I mean,
maybe 1/1, right? 1/1.
I think Falcon. Yeah, I think a 1/1 is okay and should be decent in some decks. But like realistically, what are you competing with? Angela, who's a 2/8 reliably, you know, can be more than that, can be a 2/10, 2/12 if you really want to go crazy, but usually a 2/8. She's gonna be very hard for her to get to a 2/8, right? You have to put 3 power on her. That's gonna be like what you have to have Forge in your deck. You have to have all these cards in your deck that like will buff her, and it's like I don't know. A 2/1's crap. I think she needs to be. I think she needs to be a 1-drop to be somewhat relevant at all. Even then, I don't even know.
Maybe 2/2. Like, and Shuri's another card, right? Like Shuri would be really good with this card potentially. You know, just keep getting those doubles, double. You know, I don't know. I mean, it reminds me of Beat Ray Bill, honestly.
Yes. He's not played that much though, right?
No, I know, but yeah, same shit. Exactly. He's not played that much. She probably wouldn't be either. But you know, there'd be those games where you can just go crazy with her.
Yeah.
They have so many different variants of Deadpool that they'll probably put out a bunch of them, I would imagine, for that month. We might get Dogpool at some point. I mean, from the comics and stuff. So but Gwenpool's popular, so I'm sure we probably will see her. We'll see how it ends up coming out. All right, we're gonna go to the next one. This is King Yeetri.
Who's this?
I you know what? I don't even know.
You don't even know?
I don't even know who this is. He's a 5/3 on reveal. Give the next card you play a +4 power. And while you guys talk about him, I'm gonna go look him up because I don't even know who this guy is.
All right. Well, I mean, we got Nomura coming out next month. Okay, she's a 5/5 and she gives 2 cards +5 power. So 515 worth of stats, a little more conditional, but the numbers on this card are obviously like half as low as they need. Like they need to double his power numbers basically for this to be like anything playable. But yeah, I mean, this is just 5 cost Forge. I mean, that's what he is, right? I mean, let's call it what it is. It's 5 cost Forge.
I found out who he was. He's the guy that was played by Peter Dinklage that created the hammer for Thor that made Stormbreaker. So yeah, he's the dwarf, or essentially like a gigantic dwarf that created the hammer for Thor. I had no idea that was his name. So there you go. That's who he is.
Yeah, I would say this is pretty obviously data mined, made like over a year ago in the game's inception. You know,
yeah, no doubt.
The power creep that's happened since then. This card's so bad as a 5/3 or like even if you double it, you know, 5/6 +8 maybe.
Yeah.
But no, that's crazy. But still, I mean, yeah, he's it's a cool ability. I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah. I think he'd be better served in probably even a Thor deck. If you stuck him in a Thor deck and did something with I don't know, retrieve the hammer or something for one of the Thors and stuff like that, or change his power to that. But yeah, give the next card you play +4. I mean, you know, I don't know, +4 is really nothing to sneeze at, but that's a horrible stat line. And I don't know that anybody would ever really play him for that. So, but yeah, this one's been in there for a while. I can remember seeing him like the very first or second time I looked at the data mine card. So he's been around for a long time. But yeah, I had no idea that's who he was. But Yeetri is the guy who made Stormbreaker, and he's from the Thor comics. So there you go.
Yeah, Leech is better than him. Sorry, I was saying
Leech God, yeah, no way.
I also want to say too, even if you get the nut, which is a turn 6 brood here, obviously, right? This is the nut, right? So you know, turn 6 brood. You know, you got That's like 18 power on the
That's
brood.
true.
I mean, that's not even that good. Even like you said, get the power creep.
Yeah.
Like they're probably thinking like, oh, imagine this with brood. Like that's gonna win a lane. Like not really. Red Hulk beats that lane, you know. So no.
Yeah.
Him with Gwenpool, make her a 210.
Yeah, and doubles. Yeah. Well, yeah, he's forged, right? So I think he's probably made with intention to go with Gwenpool, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they probably wanted to make him a better forge, I guess, or maybe a little bit better than that card. Yeah. All right, our next one. Oh God, here we go. This one has been in the data mines forever, and look at this dude's ability. Mephisto is very popular and is going to be in a series soon. I believe he's debuting in Ironheart when the Ironheart series or movie comes out. However, they're going to do is he is essentially the devil in Marvel. That's who this guy is. If you win this game, now this messes with your actual cubes. If you win this game, double your winnings. So if you win 2 cubes, you're getting 4. If you win 4, you're getting 8. If you win 8, you're getting 16. Which is, I mean, I don't know. This will never come to pass. No way they make this this way anyway. I don't think. I would love to see it. I think it's a cool mechanic, but I don't know. I don't know if this will ever happen. But it's perfect for the character. He even actually now in comics owns a casino. He's literally the manager of like a huge casino. It's essentially like a casino from hell, basically. So it fits the character 100%. But I just don't see them ever doing anything that's going to mess with the amount of cubes that you win in a game. Go ahead, guys.
Go ahead.
All right, kid, you want me to go? I love this. I think this is great.
I do too. I think it's awesome.
I mean, this is a no downside though. If you win this game, double your winnings. So there's no downside. I actually kind of would want to say just double the stakes. That's it. Double the stakes of this game. So if you lose 16 as well. I don't know. I think it's only fair, you know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're giving up power just by playing him. So that's how he balances. So it is only the winnings. And maybe people would get so tilted from losing 16. Like imagine you have to win like 1 or 2 cubes at a time to try to like dig yourself out of the freaking 16 hole Mephisto. So maybe that they want to like just avoid people just like punching their phone and like whipping their phone out of the car or something, like they're in the back seat.
Yeah,
gonna run over. Like so maybe that's what they're thinking. It's just winnings only. I personally would like it if it was just double the stakes, but yeah, I mean, okay, 6-0, you're giving up obviously a ton of power. You know, you're putting a huge handicap on yourself, but hey, could be worth it. So I actually love this card. I actually like it as designed. I mean, maybe they mess with the power a little bit, but I hope it comes out with this exact effect. I think this is amazing.
I think it's I think it's hilarious. Like you guys were saying, could you imagine somebody sitting at 99 and they lose 16 cubes? Betting on the fact that they're going to try to get infinite and they lose 16 cubes.
Back to 94,
yeah, the phone would go flying, like you said. The computer would get thrown off the desk. But yeah, go ahead, kid.
If you're sitting at public service announcement, if you're sitting at 99 trying to get to infinite, do not go in for 16 cubes. Retreat for 1 and go to another game. That is a not smart snapping.
Take Mephisto out of the deck.
This card is awesome. I love this card. This looks so cool. Is it like do you have to play it, or is it just if it's in your hand, if it's in your deck?
That's
like
a good question.
Game, because like maybe it creates like an effect at the beginning of the game, so like like calls the Mephisto game, you know?
Yeah.
Because you are taking up a deck slot.
Yeah.
You know, for
like
nothing.
A Kang,
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like a 6-0, like it's like Kang, right?
Yeah. I mean,
he technically could be a big bad because he is a big bad in Marvel. So he could be, if they're still even doing that, he could be one of those design cards like a King. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, I don't know if Second Dinner is worried about people farming resources with Agatha with this card. I mean, I know they're a little worried about that kind of stuff. I don't know why. I don't care. Like, let people just, and then like he'd be great in Proving Grounds too. Like, do you get double the boosters too? Like, it's double your winnings, right? You get double boosters, double
winnings,
like
I would imagine you would, yeah.
The little tokens in the conquest as well.
Yeah,
like you get double those. That'd be sick. Why not?
Yeah. It'd be a great card to play. Could you imagine if they came out with them, even like you were saying, even if it only was in Conquest, and you can only play him there. But that'd be really cool, actually, and a quicker way that if you wanted to get, to win games like that and get up the climb up the thing in Gold Conquest or in the last one, Infinity Conquest. That'd be a cool way, a quick way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. I mean, and it's a no downside really for. I mean, you got to put them in your deck, but I mean, if you're just going to be a proving ground hero, like you can just farm resources and proving grounds with this guy when you're doing your dailies or something like that, if you want, and you get double the resources. Pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. It'd be neat if it came into the game. We'll have to see. All right, next, Night Nurse. She is a 2/2 on reveal. Add all cards you discarded or destroyed last turn back to your hand. So obviously this would be your own cards that you're destroying, but I mean, you can get your X-23 back to your hand, your Venom back to your hand, your Deadpool, which would come back to your hand anyway. But I don't know. Again, this is a side character. She's very popular in Daredevil, and she's been in Daredevil comics for years and years. She's the doctor they go to when they need to get healed up if they're in a big fight with someone. But very interesting. You're adding all cards you discarded or destroyed last turn back to your hand. So what do you guys think of Night Nurse?
My first thing that popped into my head was the Collector. So I'm thinking also shout out Rosario Dawson. I think she plays Rosario this in the Daredevil series.
Yes,
great
sir.
series actually, by the way. I don't watch them all, but that season 1 especially and 2
was great,
pretty sick. So I think to your point, Joe, you were going through the destroy stuff, and we're thinking you want those guys to kind of stay on the board, right? Your X-23, your Deadpool, you don't want them to come back to the hand. Right. I'm thinking so it's got to be discard probably.
Yeah.
And I think it's like a collector discard type of thing. Swarm, and then it comes back to the hand. You discard it again. I don't know. It pumps your collector the whole time. Swarms 2, then another 1, 3 on your collector. Maybe Loki. Then you just Loki it away or something. You play Loki with this. All these things come back to your hand. You got a big hand. You play Loki. I think collector Loki, or maybe just straight up collector discard. Could be actually kind of an interesting card. Quinjet, right? When a Quinjet, maybe if it comes back to your hand, it's going to be discounted because of Quinjet, because it add all cards you discarded to your hand. So that didn't start in your deck. So that'd be a Quinjet discount. I think will qualify there. So I'm kind of thinking, Loki and discard stuff.
Okay. Mockingbird, I agree with you 100%. I think for sure.
Too. Yeah, good
I think it for sure has to be discard. Yeah, I don't know about destroy. Destroy in theory might sound okay, but you can get your Carnage back if you Venom your Carnage. But then but then you got to play Night Nurse the next turn on turn 4. Then I guess you could play a big Carnage too on turn 4 again with the Deadpool, or turn 5. I mean, it would have to be some finagling. But you can get extra destroy cards out of her. I don't know if she'd be good enough to make the destroy list, but this seems like a really cool ability. I think 2/2 it's statted pretty good for collector lists and stuff like that. No big deal set.
Yep. Something different, like you were saying, a different type of ability. At least it looks like they're, trying or exploring like different things. So that's
Phoenix Force. Can I go to Phoenix Force? Sorry.
No.
Ooh.
No. The Venom, you get the Venom back, or you clone the Venom. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of finicky, like you said. I don't know. Right? I'm going a little too deep in the sauce.
Then you got to play another card. You got to play that the turn after you destroy it to get your card back. Then it's 3-turn thing, and you can't afford to wait that long for a 3. Not in that deck anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. All right, so that is Night Nurse. We're moving on to the next one. We've got Random. Random is a 4/0. On reveal, set this card's power equal to the power of a random card in your deck. So it's almost kind of like Pixie in a way. He's going to pull a power from. So if you're playing with a big ton of big cards, this is probably a hella card because of all the big, huge cards that you have as far as power goes that are in your deck. So what do you guys think of Random?
Go ahead.
Can I say one thing about Night Nurse before I just
absolutely.
Sorry. I know we move on, but what about her in Zoo with Killmonger and Null? What if you kill all your stuff, your Null gets huge, and then you get all your Zoo cards back, you can just dump them all the next turn. And then you play Mockingbird in that deck too. So your Null gets huge, you dump all your cards cheap.
Okay.
Would that
then
work?
you Black Swan. Then you Black Swan. Play them all out for free.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I could
That'd
see
be
that.
funny. Anyways.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
No, Niners.
Right.
Niners is interesting. I like that card actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Yeah.
Random. Okay, sorry. Random.
Yeah.
Random seems like a cool card. He's a cool concept. I don't know if
Mhm.
he'd ever be a good card though. It like literally is just too random. And then he could get Shadow Kinged to back to a 0.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you would.
I mean, like you'd obviously have like ridiculously high rolls, like if you get like Infinite Red Hulk, that kind of stuff, obviously. But yeah, I don't know.
My first impression is that this card sucks. Like the little drill boy that 5/3 +4, like it's just a shit card, right? Like with these numbers, I want you guys to have a thought exercise in your head. Think about this. The card Morph is a 3/0. Nobody plays it.
Yeah,
this is a 4/0. Only copies power. So at least Morph also gets an ability. So in a lot of ways, Morph is like actually a better effect than this. Obviously, it's your opponent's card, so there's that downside to it. But it's 3. It's a 3/0. This is 4 cost. Only gets the power. I mean, how many how many big power cards, base power, are there even in the game? I mean, there's very little, right? Like if you copy like a Devil Dino, like this is probably a 4/3, I would imagine. Yeah. So, it's not like it's the ongoing is off in your deck, right? So like you have to do it's like blob cards basically. So, I mean, what do you have, like Destroyer and like Giganto in your deck? And now you're playing a deck with Destroyer and Giganto, which sucks, right? So I think this is a really, really bad card in my opinion, but maybe if it was a 2/0, it'd be kind of sick,
Oh yeah, 2/0. Imagine him getting a stat line of like a 12 or a 13.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Yeah. So
yeah, he's they have that location now too that pops up where it gives you the stat line of the card on your next draw, right? They're I forget the name of that, but that's yeah. Mm-hmm. So that kind of does something similar, I would guess. But yeah, he's probably going to be changed, I would think. I don't know. The honor reveal may get changed. His stat line might get changed as well. So, but we'll see. Yeah, I agree with you both on that one. Not a very exciting one.
I mean, why wouldn't you just play Call Obsidian or like?
That's no doubt. Yeah,
or Morph,
or Crossbow.
Or Morph. Yeah, Morph with the same ability but better stats. Yeah, no doubt. All right. Well, Red Guardians there. That was it. Okay, we've got Sage. Sage is an on reveal. She's a 4/1. +2 power for each different power among all other cards here. So that's a little weird. Each different power. So if you have 3 cards in a lane, and they all have different power levels. So one's a 7, one's a 4, one's a 2. She gets a +2 power for each different power among all the other cards. So what do you think of Sage?
Sage is Sag.
Sag.
This is gonna be. I was gonna say this is gonna be a skip week for me, but yeah, I'm a filthy variant hoarder, and I think this is the Flaviano Legion and the Ink Pulp Tribunal week. So they very smartly. This is coming up, and then it was June, right? Or
is this a June card?
No.
May.
This is a May card. Couple weeks, boys.
Yeah, this is a May card. So this card is, they very smartly put a bad card with really good variants in the spotlight system. So I will be rolling that week, but it won't be for Sage. I don't think she's good. I think she's bad. Honestly, like there's too many good 4-drops that like, again, why not just play Crossbones or Call Obsidian? That's a 4/10 and it's going to be more reliably at higher power than her. Even Rescue and Jessica Jones way better than her.
They are, yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
I don't know why you'd ever play this card.
Yep. No big deal.
Yeah, I mean, Sage, she's coming up soon, I think, maybe 3 weeks. And another thing that is working against her is that we just got Zabu neutered and nuked from the game. So, I mean, the fact that she is a 4-drop, it's like, okay, well, you discount her. You put her on a Wong lane or something like that. I don't know. Maybe you could finagle a little bit. Mr. Negative is the big 4/1. Flip that to a 1/4. Maybe goes up to a 1/12. That's not too bad. It's like kind of like Havoc, right? Some people play Havoc and they're Mr. Negative. Similar to that, I guess. But Mr. Havoc's also a 2 in a pinch if you need it, right? And she's just not that. So I mean, a little bit Sag for now. Maybe closer to the release, they'll tune up the numbers a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Yeah, she's coming out next month at some point here. So, all right, moving on. We've got Sasquatch.
Yeah.
He is a
Yeah.
big boy. He's a 6'10". He costs 1 less for each card you played last turn. So he'll be played, I'm sure. That's a stat line a lot of people like. And I don't know if you're playing a lot of small cards. Again, you're playing Zoo. He's going to be pretty easy to get out on the board. Thanos, he's the Thanos card because of all the stones. So he's going to see some play. And yeah, what do you guys think of Sasquatch?
Well, when I see Sasquatch, all I can think of is Zal Snap because he loves this card so much.
Did he really?
He's the most excited for this card out of all the cards coming out. I think
That's
this is the end. I think this is the end of next month.
Yeah.
It seems like a really cool card. I think it's going to be a good card. It seems really good. To me, it seems like a card that's like the opposite of She-Hulk. She-Hulk, you want to skip turn 5 a lot or skip turn 6.
Yeah.
This guy, you just want to dump on turn 5. Like you can play like Mysterio, Hitmonkey, whatever, Squirrel. I don't know, whatever the hell you want to do. You could like Black Swan on 3, play a bunch of 1 drops on 4, and then or whatever it is. And then he's going to be cheap. He's gonna be like a 3/10, a 4/10, a 5/10.
Yeah,
it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I think he'll be a cool card in the right decks. I'm excited to see what people are gonna cook with him.
Yep, no doubt. No big deal.
I think, it's like shout out to Zal, man. Zal's so fired up for this. Zal, just for context for the people listening, he is a Hitmonkey enjoyer, and that's an understatement. Like people say enjoyer, throw that out a lot, but this guy loves his Hitmonkey stuff. So, I mean, imagine you could pop off with a Hitmonkey turn 5, and then this is just gonna be a free card on turn 6 in Zal's hands. So,
yep.
I think Mysterio is like the main thing that comes to mind. I think the kid pointed this out. Yeah, just play Mysterio on 2. Now you just play this on 3. Like that's pretty sick, right? Yep. Like this 3/10. Like there you go. It's kind of good, right? So I think Mysterio will be a crucial synergy piece with this, just like he is with Bishop and Hitmonkey. And then I guess to Zal's point, at that point, you're already playing Mysterio. You got Mysterio in the deck. You could play maybe Mockingbird, Hitmonkey, Bishop, and this deck kind of starts to brew. And it sounds like a pretty strong deck too. You could be Giga Degenerate, throw the card Moon Girl in there if you wanna do that. You clone your Mockingbird and your Sasquatch. So if you can, if you could hit both somehow, then that could get pretty nasty. So pretty interesting card. And I thought maybe it would be like Scar power level when we talked about it with Zal, but I think I'm kind of still there. It's still just like it's a 10, right? It's a conditional 10. So I think it'd be like Scar's an 11, but you could discount Scar. You get him to 4, you get him to 2. Like this guy, you're gonna have to do some work to get him down. So I think it'll be a little more explosive though. Instead of Scar, you're not playing 1 card at a time. So a very interesting and fun card, and I love the design.
Yep. Our friend Glazer may be happy for this card too. He's another big bounce enjoyer, so always looking to see how he can bring bounce back. So we'll see. Yeah, maybe this is what brings the bounce meta back to the game. All right, moving on to the next one. We got Silver Sable. She's a 2/6. You can only play this at a location where you have 6+ total power. So she is very famous for her appearances in Spider-Man comic books. So she's been data mined for a good while. I don't know. We may see her, I'm sure, at some point. She's a pretty popular character in Marvel. But what do you guys think of Silver Sable?
I was gonna say I think this looks sick, and they could release this thing tomorrow. Like this, I haven't seen this one yet. Yep. That's pretty cool. I don't know. I think that's awesome, and I think the numbers are actually like perfect on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2/6.
I agree.
One. Yep.
Yeah, I agree 100%. 2/6, and then it has a decent condition, so you're not going to be playing her on turn 2, ever, even if you martyr on turn 1, unless there's like one of those locations that buffs your power, like Nidavellir or something like that. I think I like it. I think they can release this tomorrow. Don't think it's going to be broken. It's pretty sweet stat line.
Yeah. She could even be coming too for the Deadpool thing as well, if they're going to go off the comics, because she's been involved in Deadpool comics and stuff too in the past. So that may be one of the ones we might see coming in July also. So, and being that it's already seems like it's ready made, maybe it's coming out that quickly. So, all right. So Silver Sable looks pretty good. Going on, we got this one just is ridiculous. Surtur is the big dude that destroyed Asgard, by the way, in Ragnarok. If you move the Human Torch to his location, he gets a +10 power. He is a 5/0. There's no way this comes out this way because he has nothing at all whatsoever. I laughed when I read this card because he has nothing to do with the Human Torch. Nothing. The only reason they probably put that there was because the fact that he has to do with fire, but he has 0 to do. I don't even know if even in the comics Human Torch ever even fought him. So he has nothing to do with Human Torch. It looks like a decent card for a move deck, obviously, if you're playing Human Torch or Phoenix Force, but I don't even know why he has this stat line. There's no way he comes out with this. I'm thinking we'll see him at some point because he is a pretty big Marvel character, but 5/0. Torch gets a +10 if he moves to him. So go ahead, guys. What do you think of Surtur?
I mean, the ability is kind of crap, but I mean, it is a cool idea. If it wasn't just the Human Torch, if it was like some other card, or it's not some other, just like any card, but not +10 power.
Yep.
I guess that's kind of like Craven then a little bit, right? But like
Yeah.
a bigger, like maybe he's a bigger Craven. You can maybe do some weird stuff with Hercules. Who knows? Like where he bounces stuff in and out of the lane.
Yep.
That could be funny. But yeah, as it is now, a 5/0, just the Human Torch is crap.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you'd ever do that.
There's no way he gets released this way. I mean, a lot of people were talking about him for the straight move decks and stuff, and you would have him as like almost like the big boss in a move deck rather than Heimdall, but he only affects one card. And even still, at the end of the game, people play Killmonger. That card's dead anyhow. So yeah, I don't know. This definitely isn't going to release that way. No big deal.
All right. Hear me out, boys. All right.
Okay.
We take Luke Cage, Kyera, and Armor. Okay, so we take these cards, we put them in our deck. We obviously take the card Human Torch, and is gonna because it's in the name sake, right? So he's got to be in there. The kid's point, Hercules got to be in there, right?
Yep.
Magic is mandatory for this card. This is a 5-cost card, so I need more than one turn to go completely bonkers here. And yeah, man, like we're just going ping pong. We're playing ping pong, boys. We got Ghost Spider, Doctor Strange, Iron Fist, obviously Hercules, right? And then all those other tech cards I mentioned. So this is very close to 12 card deck right there. And so you're just boom, 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 boom. So you're gonna end up having like a 48 power Human Torch and a 40 power Searcher. And that's the dream, boys. That's what it is. Let's go. You can't kill Human Torch because I got Kyera, and you can't Shadow King my cards because I played Luke Cage. Easy, GG.
I like how they made it, because technically the reason I think they did this now is because of the movie in Ragnarok where you have to light his torch in order to get him to come. So I think that's where that's coming from. All right, well, how do we light him? We get the Human Torch in there to light the flame, and then that's how he shows up. So yeah, it was like Ragnarok. I think Loki, to resummon him, went down and lit the torch, and then he brought him back. So that's kind of, I think, what they're thinking there. Well, let's take the only card that's on fire in our game and have him light him. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if we'll ever see Surtur. If we do, I don't know if he'll have that power. I would imagine they'll probably rework the card. What is it with cards with fire? When in a Firestar we're never seeing, and this one we'll probably never see. I mean.
I'd rather just play like Call Obsidian, Crossbones, or Red Hulk instead of this guy. Instead of going through all the hoops to do the Human Torch stuff.
It's a 540. What do you mean? Those guys aren't 40 power. This is a 40 power card. What are you saying?
40 power card. Yeah, Shang-Chi. Let's see.
Bro, I got armor. I put armor in the deck.
How are you moving Human Torch into his lane 4 times with armor, him? Who else? How else are you getting Human Torch in the lane?
I got to set up early. I'm setting those cards up early. And then I play Magic. And we got Hercules, right? Ghost Spider, Iron Fist, Doctor Strange. Boom, boom, boom.
That would be awesome to see.
That would be a cool game to see.
It'll work 1 in 25 games.
Ship it.
Oh, I love it. All right, moving on to the next one. We've got Strife. Strife is a 3/7. If your opponent has 12 plus power here at the end of any turn, destroy this card. Oh boy. The stat line's good. The ability, not so much, especially when you're not really going to have too many lanes that don't have, I don't think, 12 plus power. But what do you think of Strife, guys?
I think he's bad. He needs
Yeah.
to not be a 3/7. This is like really, really bad.
Yeah.
Like Gladiator is just way better than him. I would never play him.
Oh,
I'd
no
rather
doubt.
play Gladiator over him every day. I would never
Yeah.
put him in a deck with Gladiator in the game.
Yeah.
Like, cause he just then because you have to play him with armor, right? You have to put him in a lane
Yep.
where there's armor, or
Yep.
like you know, or like the space throne, and hope they don't put like you know, more than 12 power in the lane.
Yep.
But they can just put 8 power in the lane and beat you. So I don't know. It's just it's too his ability is just too constraining for him. He needs to have like even 3/9 power. Like I don't know.
Yeah, the kid said before, like, you know, he thinks maybe they printed some of these cards like 2 years ago. I think this
Oh
is
no,
gonna be one of
yeah,
them.
for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like this guy's been power crap really hard. And it's not his fault. It's because the 4 drops got so out of hand. So now they're like kind of overcorrecting with the 3 drop cost cards, right? They're like putting like, you know, 3 5s with upside are a thing now, and they're not taking over the meta. So they're like, oh shit. Like, so this card right here is like this guy's kind of got left behind by the power creep for sure. Like I would say Strong Guy is a way better card than this. I mean,
No doubt.
you know,
Yeah.
Strong Guy's a 3/9 and not that hard of a condition, and doesn't just like randomly die, right? So
Yeah.
you know, 12 power is not even a lot. Like they got to change that number to like 30 plus power. Like 12.
Yeah.
12, like, what are we doing? So yeah, man. Yeah, this is brutal. I mean, you have to make him at least a 3/9 to even be somewhat viable, I think.
Yeah, especially with cards like Mockingbird in out
Yes.
there that can get into a lane now with no problem. And yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they'll just die. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's been out there for a while. I remember seeing him in this list for a good amount of time. So I'm sure we'll see Strife at some point, but yeah, nowhere near like that. So, all right, moving on. We've got Toad. Toad is a 2/3. On reveal, move the last card you played to this location. So kind of similar to a Ghost Spider, I guess. You're pulling a card over. Pretty good card, I guess, for a move shell. But yeah, I mean, Toad, pretty iconic X-Men character. I'm sure at some point we will probably see the card. But what do you guys think?
Go ahead, no big deal.
I mean, Joe, I think you nailed it. I mean, it's literally Ghost Spider's effect, and I think for that reason they would have to change it. But I do like the idea of him yoinking something, you know, or moving something around, or some kind of movement effect. I think would be cool, and a welcome addition in the game. I mean, you know, these move decks, I think could still use some help, even though they've gotten a lot better. I think they're a lot more viable now. All kinds of different move shells you could play, but I don't think releasing something like this would just break the game and it would be like move meta, like, you know, we just had the Thanos meta. I don't think it's going to be like that by putting Toad into the game. So I like it. I think it's cool, true to the lore, but I mean, you can't give them exactly Ghost Spider's effect, right? So they have to get a little more unique with it, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and they did release Ghost Spider as a 2/3, and it was crap, and no one played it, so they had to drop it to a 1-drop because move cards need to be cheap so you can combo them. So this is a 2/3. Even if it had Ghost Spider's effect, would be kind of, I don't know if it would even, maybe it would be all right now, but I don't know. Yeah, they need to do something a little more unique. But yeah, I agree with no big deal. I like the idea of like, you know, probably like a tongue sticks out and grabs it and does.
That'd be
something.
awesome. Yeah, the graphic would be cool. Yeah, no doubt.
Maybe make it a 2/0 or like a 1/0, and it gives the card +2 power that it moves or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
Yeah. Definitely a card we'll see at some point, I'm sure. All right, going on to another meme card. There's no way this one comes out either. Pour one out for Uncle. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna get my Thanos was right mug. And, yeah, there we go. And yes, pour one out for Uncle Ben, who dies in every single Spider-Man movie, animated feature, and so on and so forth. But Uncle Ben is a 1/2. When this card is destroyed, add Spider-Man to your hand. I love that ability. I think that's hilarious. But why would you play him? I really have no idea other than for the memes and to be funny. But poor Uncle Ben is dying again, even in a game of Marvel Snap. And I'm sure that's probably why they made this. But this card will never come to pass. But I do like it. I even like how they made his little, the wording of him looks like old style writing from like the 30s or 40s on the card. So, you know, this is funny, but there's no way we ever see this card. What do you think, guys?
Well, it's definitely a meme card, and
Yeah.
obviously I would rather play the Daily Bugle guy
The
over this
Jameson one, for
with the
sure,
emotes
yeah.
harder and can't mute and all that stuff. It just sounds amazing. But I think this has potential in the sense of it can't say add Spider-Man to your hand. It can't even say when destroyed. This has to just be on reveal. Why are we doing when it's destroyed? This just has to be on reveal. If it's just on reveal, it still sucks. Okay. So if it's on reveal, add Spider-Man to your hand, that's like dog shit still. So
Yeah.
we need to like up the ante a little bit. I think Spider-Man needs to go on the board.
On the
I think that's
board,
what this guy
yes.
needs.
Yeah. I agree.
Summons if Spider-Man's in your deck, play him on the board randomly or something.
Yeah.
And I think then he's maybe kind of interesting.
This was probably out there even when Spider-Man had his old ability, before he was changed, when he would web the lane, if I had to guess, because this has been out there for a long time too. Go ahead, kid.
Could you imagine the old Galactus with the old Spider-Man, and like you
And
Galactus
you can summon him with Uncle
Ben's there,
Ben?
and you automatically get the win condition in your hand? That'd be so toxic. It'd be unreal.
Oh my
That'd be
God,
so
that would
good.
be hilarious.
But
Oh
you
my
know,
God. Could you imagine
card-
you win a game because of Uncle Ben?
oh, it'd be amazing. You'd win so many games because of Uncle Ben if you played old Galactus.
Yeah,
This
that'd
card
be
would be
amazing.
OP. This would be an OP card. It'd be changed immediately.
Yeah, take out Yondu for this guy in that deck.
Yeah, but this card's great. I love it. I think it's cool. Like what No Big Deal said, it'd have to be something a little bit better, but it is definitely a meme card. I don't think they'll ever print it.
Yeah.
But with great power comes great responsibility. Probably one of the most
so
quoted lines in all of Marvel. That's
absolutely.
Uncle Ben, baby. R.I.P. Uncle Ben. In our hearts, we hope that you come to Marvel Snap one day.
There it is. All right, Uncle Ben. We're moving on. We got Vision. This is Vision's daughter, I believe, in comics. She's a 2/3. When you move a card to a location, move this card there as well. So, what do you guys think? Another move card of Vision.
Interesting with Craven, I guess. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know how good it would be as a 2/3, but yeah, I mean, if you have Vision, she just follows you around. Like she just follows around Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
I think this card would be crap. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it'd be good at all. It's interesting. It's a cool effect, but it's got to do something a little bit better. It's kind of I don't know why you would ever want to just move a 2/3 when you're moving cards.
Tags along with another card. Yeah, it would fill a lane really quickly too. So I agree.
Yeah, the board space would be the main issue, Joe, like you said, and it's just Craven, right? And it's kind of like reminds me of Grandmaster, right? Where it's like, oh well, it moves to the Craven lane, the Craven goes up, but there's all this board space considerations. I mean, she's a 2/3, so she's not doing anything on her own, right? Like, you need her to proc on Craven like multiple times. I mean, is this better than Silk? Like, no way. It's a 2/5, So, when you move a card, so I guess that wouldn't even work on Silk, because Silk's kind of moving on her own. So it'd have to be like a Nightcrawler, a Jeff, or a Vision, and then she would come along with it. Your Craven gets +4. That's not going to win you any games, I don't think.
Yep, absolutely. Agreed. All right, going on to the next one, we've got Witchfire. It's a 2/3. On reveal, your opponent draws a card, increase its cost by 1. So you're increasing the cost of the card that you draw from Witchfire. Yeah.
This is dog shit. Baron Mordo's better, and it's one of the worst cards in the game.
Shittier Baron Mordo,
I didn't even think that was possible to have a shittier Baron Mordo.
Yeah, this is straight garbage. Yes, I agree. This is really, really bad.
You know what would be cool if they changed the text here? Because I just thought of what if it puts a card from your opponent's hand randomly on the top of the deck and gives it increase the cost by 1? That'd be kind of sick, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like let's do the opposite of Baron Mordo. Like, let's not draw our opponent their cards like out of their deck. Like, let's not Maximus them for no fucking reason, right? Like, let's take the card they have in their hand, put it back on top of their deck, because there's nothing in the game that does that. And if she probably fits her lore, I would imagine. So Witchfire, cast a little spell, boom, hocus pocus.
That's cool. Yeah. It's kind of like, and it's not like that OP too, because there's already like precedent in like Black Widow, where she puts a card in your hand that like doesn't make you draw. Yeah. Like there's already cards in the game that prevent you from drawing. Black Widow being the one. So this would prevent you from drawing, but you just draw one of your cards, but it's shittier now.
Yeah.
Yep.
But,
I think
Black,
that's a cool. That's a way better idea. That's a really good idea.
similar to Black Bolt, Black Bolt hits one of their cards, but at least with this one they get it back. But she's a 2, Black Bolt's a 5, right? So yeah, I don't know. I think that could be kind of interesting. Maybe
That's
you don't
cool.
even need to increase the cost by 1. Maybe just put it back on top if that's OP. But I think it's interesting with a +1 cost as well.
Maybe this will be a Halloween card at some point in time, that they do another Halloween series during one of the years in October or something. Maybe they're waiting for that, but we'll see.
Mhm.
Hopefully it'll be better. All right, we got one more to go, and the last one is Yo-Yo. I was just watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. today, and of course Yo-Yo is in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's kind of like the Flash a little bit in Marvel, but she's a 1/2. When this card moves, a lot of these cards are move cards. When this card moves, move it back with +1 power. So she's going to move, and then she's going to go back to where she was and gets a +1 power every time, I guess, that she does that. So I don't know, kind of a weird ability. Not sure, again, if it'll release this way, but, something we've never really heard of before. What do you think of Yo-Yo?
Cool ability, bad card.
Yeah.
I mean, why would I ever want to move this to get 1 power when I can move Dagger and get 12 power in 1 move?
Yeah, no doubt.
Or like Human Torch and double
no
the power.
doubt.
Like, I'm gonna waste like a Ghost Spider on this card or like a Cloak or something to get like a 1/3. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah. It's just they had a better stat line, no doubt.
Or plus like 3 power or something.
Or plus, different plus amount.
If it's +3 power, then that's interesting,
Yep.
Because then or +4 power even. Just make it OP, but then like it could die to Killmonger.
Yep.
And you have to waste move cards on it.
Yep. No doubt.
+4 is probably ridiculous, but yeah, +3 it would be cool with this card.
Yeah. Pump up the power, the +1 a little bit to something else. Go right ahead. No big deal. You're up.
There he is.
Bring it in, boys. Bring it in.
All right, I'm in.
We go to Searcher. We take the text that says Human Torch. We change it to Yo-Yo.
Oh, God.
10. Boom, boom. She always
That
comes
would be
back.
hilarious.
Suddenly you've got a 100 power Surtur that you can Taskmaster.
Boom.
There you go.
That'd be great. Even not Yo-Yo, even make Surtur like anytime a card moves in here, you get +5 power.
Yeah.
And it's just like you do your Yo-Yo Surtur decks or something.
Just Yo-Yo, yeah. Boom. Craven Surtur, yeah.
Great.
Oh, man, that's fantastic.
Yeah. A card like this is just like the power level is way too bad.
For sure, yeah, like Vulture's +6 per move, right?
Oh yeah,
Vulture's not like taking over the meta, and he's +6. Like you said, Dagger's like +9, +12. Like it's What are we doing?
Yeah, it's so funny that a lot of these are move cards, and so it seems like that they're trying, I guess, or thinking about making so many more move cards for the game, but maybe they just can't come up with a way to do it, and they put these in there, and that's why we never see them, because there's just a lot of them just aren't good. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Well, there you go.
I think Annihilus, his original data mine was, I think it was Annihilus, was like unbelievable. I think it was a 6-drop.
Yeah, it was move all something, wasn't it?
Move all the cards to random locations on the board.
Yeah.
Every single card. Move every single card to random.
Yeah. I think when they were doing that, they were thinking of him with his swarm, that everything was just going to buzz around him and just move everywhere. But yeah, I remember seeing that the first time. Yeah.
That'd be hilarious, but probably too good.
Yeah. It's interesting, man. Well, there you go. These are all the cards that have been data mined, that are out there on the list that, haven't come to pass. And you can probably see why a lot of them didn't. So from us talking about the cards. So, all right, so that is probably going to do it. I've had these guys for over 2 hours. Guys, thank you again so much for coming out to the show. I really appreciate it. Love hanging out with you guys. Tell my listeners where they can find you, when your next show is going to be. These guys do a lot of amazing guests coming on their show as well, that they talk to. They do a show a week. The Kid Snap, of course, on YouTube. And you guys, are you guys on audio as well? Is it just the YouTubes that you do, or you? Okay.
No, I put it on every single podcasting platform. It's How Can She Snap? That's our podcast.
Yep.
YouTube, How Can She Snap? If you want to find us on Twitter, X, or whatever, the kid_snap is me. And then no big deal _snap as well. But yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, like we said, we do a podcast once a week. Joe, we love having you on. We love coming on your show. It's great. Love interacting with you, man. It's always a pleasure. It's amazing. Thank you so much, man. We really appreciate it. We're big fans. Love what you're doing, man.
I
Seriously.
appreciate it, man. Thank you. And you guys as well. These guys are just fantastic. Every time I go on their show, it brings me back to a more fun time in my life back in the 80s when, when the music was a lot better and the cars were a lot faster and all that good stuff. But yeah, man, I love it. Thank you so much for coming on. And yeah, make sure you check those guys out. Who do you have coming up? Do you have a guest coming up on your show this week?
Go ahead, no big deal.
Yeah, we got Felicity coming on tomorrow, actually.
Oh, wow,
So
that's awesome.
yeah, we're
Very
pretty
cool.
fired up to have her on. I mean,
Yeah.
she did the whole SnapCon. She organized it and everything. Powerhouse in the Snap community. Felicity's a beast. So excited to have her on. And I'm excited. I was watching her stream and she was playing some Hella Modoc too. So pretty fired up to have her on because I was getting a little bit ganged up on last week. So nice to have a fellow that discard degenerate to come on with me. On the pod. So yeah, shout out to her, man. And yeah, that should be a banger for sure.
That's awesome, man. Well, there you go. Make sure you guys check that out. Felicity will be on their show. And if you haven't already done so, I also had Tucker with me a couple days ago. So make sure you check that out. That's on the YouTube page. This will be there as well, along with audio as always. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel. If you head there, make sure you like the video as well. It helps me out a lot. And on audio, I love the audio listeners, always will. That's kind of where this whole thing started. But please rate the podcast if you get a chance. That always helps me out as well. Next week, I have coming on with me Gunny T will be back here with me next week and be talking about all that stuff that's going on that he's running over on the Snap Judgments podcast. And so I'll be talking to him. And of course, Black Dama will be on my show coming up as well to talk all about that crazy Galactus deck that I've been playing the crap out of for the last few days. So keep listening, guys. And I am your Snap DJ, and we're going to sign off for the evening. Have a great one. Please stay safe. Be kind to one another always. And hopefully I will talk to you all on the next show. Have a great one, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Joe. Peace.